Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our 301st weekly webcast. Now, if this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back. And so the way this call works is this is an AMA, like you see on Reddit, meaning you can ask me anything. You can ask me business questions, career questions, investing questions, personal development questions, any questions you want to. And my humble goal is to help you take your career to the next level. Now, before we get started, two quick announcements. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being with me over the past 301 weeks because we just passed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We've got a silver button being shipped to me by YouTube. It's only possible because of all of you. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Next quick housekeeping announcement, please keep typing your questions, is my 10th annual MBA degree program, the Gold and Platinum, will start on Monday, January 27th. And it's going to be every single Monday and Tuesday from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. Pacific time. That's 7 until 10 p.m. East Coast time. And 1 week from today, as you can see by the announcement below, I'm going to hold a webinar during this office hours. And during that webinar, everybody on this call that attends is going to get 2 of my courses for free, 2 of my best courses. And one person is also going to win a 100% scholarship to my gold MBA degree program. Again, that starts on Monday, January 27th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Let me just show you very quickly, and you can see in the note below there, right here, that I've got the link to the website. So I'll show you the website really quickly, let you know what this is all about, as I say in Canadian. Okay. So if you go to that website, harounmba.com/FAQ, what you can see is the Gold and Platinum MBA program. They're going to be on sale, a good discount, but only during next week's webcast. So please don't buy it before then. And these programs here, the Gold and Platinum, it's going to be every Monday and Tuesday, starting on January 27th. Okay, every Monday and Tuesday, from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. Pacific time. And I teach the classes live. I take a million questions as well. That also includes 3 hours of Zoom group one-on-one calls that you'll get every week forever, even after you're done the program. It includes all my brand new courses as well that I publish exclusively here on my platform, including my new real estate course and much, much more. Now, the difference between gold and platinum is platinum, you get 3 hours of one-on-ones as well. Positions are limited. If you want to learn more about this, go to this website here and click the blue button I'm covering up right here in the corner if you want to set up a call with myself or somebody on my staff. Okay. I'm also hiring. So anybody that is interested in working with me, my business is growing humbly rapidly. I can't keep up. But if anybody is interested in working with me in terms of sales, business development, etc., please just send your resume to support@harounventures.com. In terms of experience that I'd like you to have, please, if you apply to work with me, I want you to have sales experience. I also want you to have some online experience selling products as well. Okay, let me get directly to your questions, and thanks again, and Happy New Year to everybody. This is our first webcast of the year. All right, Sean's the first question here. He wrote, good morning, Chris. For a long-term stock idea, let's say the expected time frame is 6 to 8 quarters. Is it best to go with the stock itself or using leaps to execute the idea? The goal is to leverage the idea. Yeah, so what I would do is step 1, I would understand the fundamentals and valuation metrics of the underlying stock itself, build a financial model that goes out 5 to 10 years. I'll show you how in 1 second. And then once you're comfortable with the fundamentals and valuation, etc., then you can look to buy leaps. Now, for those of you not familiar with leaps, what they are basically they're derivative instruments. They're call options that expire in more than 1 year. Let me explain what that means really quickly using Coca-Cola as an example. All right, so you can buy Coca-Cola if you want, the stock, ticker KO. And if it goes up a lot, you make money, great. But what you can also do is you can buy what's called a call. And a call option is you pay a small amount, okay? And you're hoping that Coca-Cola stock is going to go up a certain amount in a certain amount of time. And if it does, you can make 20 times your money on this call. But all you lose is this right here. Now, I'm going to show you the theory behind it really quickly. And then I'll show you how to actually look at a call option on Yahoo Finance for Coca-Cola, for example. Okay. And a lot of people did this with NVIDIA. I've invested in NVIDIA for a couple of years now. It's been great. More than 70% of employees at NVIDIA are now millionaires. It's unbelievable. All right, so step one, whenever you're looking to analyze a company, what I want you to do is I want you to do a deep dive on the research, meaning the fundamentals of the company. Now, in my MBA degree program, as you can see right here, I give you this template. I give you a template for everything. And I developed this when I worked on Wall Street and when I worked at the biggest hedge funds. And what this is it's 100 steps to analyze any company. Okay, we always start with a management team because that's what a company is. And in business school, they don't teach you that. Then what we do is we analyze the history of the company. So this is all qualitative research, quantitative, and this here is the financials. And I teach you everything from scratch in my MBA degree program, using lots of props as well to explain finance and accounting from scratch. It's a lot of fun too. So what you do is in this document, you're going to answer 730 questions. It's a lot. But you're creating a professional equity research report like you see at Goldman Sachs and the top Wall Street firms. So you analyze all the qualitative stuff right here. Okay, you answer all the questions. Okay, then all the quantitative stuff like the total addressable market, market growth, market share, etc. Then we move down here and all this stuff feeds. And again, this is available to you in my MBA degree program, this template. Then here what we do is we create all of the financials. Okay, and I teach you finance from scratch. And then here we value the company based on 3 different valuation methodologies: price earnings, price to revenue, and discounted cash flow. The reason we use 3 different valuation methodologies is because one of your valuation methodologies will be very, very wrong. We don't know which one. So if we take the average target price of 3 different valuation methodologies, we minimize the margin of error. Okay. Then what happens is out of this, you get a 1-pager. Okay, and this is just dummy data here. But this 1-pager here analyzes the fundamentals, the valuation, and lastly, the technical analysis. Always put that last. And for those of you interviewing for hedge fund jobs, a lot of my clients are, you can print this off and put this on the back of your resume as well. Now, this is just one input, or one output, I should say. You also have a detailed report that comes out of this, which is a 150 page due diligence report. And also, you've got a dashboard as well. Okay, and this is all based on the information you entered in. You can bring this to your interviews too. It'll help you, I promise you. All right, so Sean, once you've established what your target price is and you've completed this entire template, okay, let's say that your target price on a company is 400% upside within 3 to 5 years, whatever it is. Then what you do is you go ahead and do a similar report for options, okay? And in my MBA degree program, I have all the templates you need also to be able to create really detailed 1-page options reports. I explain everything from scratch. Humbly, in when I did my MBA in finance at Columbia University, when I graduated 8 million years ago, I got the top grade in my class in options. So I help you create 1-page reports based on this as well. Now, I talked about the theory a bit. Now let's go and talk about exactly how you buy these things and look for these things as well. And I made the cardinal sin of wearing a tie with patterns. You're never supposed to do that when you're on television or a webcast. My bad. The older I get, the better I was. All right, so let's go over here now, and let's go to finance.yahoo.com. And recall I use Coca-Cola as the example ticker. So the way you know if a stock has options is you type the ticker here in finance.yahoo.com. Then you click here on options. And if you see data right here, meaning there's data behind this tab here, then this company has options. So in your case, what you would do is you would pick leaps. So options expire usually every Friday, unless there's a holiday on Friday, in which case it might be a Thursday. So what I do is I'm going to pick, just for fun, I'll go out to 2 years from now, okay? 2 years minus 1 day from now, yeah. And then what we do here is we have calls for Coca-Cola. Now, Coca-Cola is now at 61 bucks, okay? So let's say you think Coca-Cola, which wouldn't happen, but let's say you think Coca-Cola will go up 400% by then, based on your research in the financial model. Then what you're going to do is you're going to buy a call, okay? Now, the ones in blue are in the money. The ones in white are out of the money. I explain this in detail in my MBA program. So we can pick one way, way, way out of the money. Okay, so let's say that you think Coca-Cola is going to be over $100 a share, right? That'd be a big move for Coke. Over $100 a share by, let's see, when's the expiration date? January 15th, 2027, just about 2 years now. So you're going to pay 20 cents for a call, and these are in lots of 100 always, okay? And if Coca-Cola goes above 100, this is worth a fortune, okay? If it goes up way above 100, like 400%, which wouldn't happen. And all you lose is that times 100, they're sold in lots of 100. That's it. Now, let's talk about puts really, really quickly. So a lot of people own stocks, and they don't want to sell the stocks because they don't want to pay a lot of taxes. Okay, so let's say that you bought NVIDIA. Okay, you bought it a couple of years ago, November of 22, whatever it was, when OpenAI was released publicly. So you bought NVIDIA, and it's up a lot. You've made a killing. Okay, you're up a couple $1,000%, which a lot of people are. And you don't want to sell NVIDIA. And the reason you don't want to sell NVIDIA is because you don't want to pay taxes. So what you can do is you can buy a put option. Okay, let's pretend this is NVIDIA here. It's actually an Intel chip from a case study for my MBA program. You don't want to sell NVIDIA. You want to pay taxes. So what you can do on NVIDIA is you can buy an insurance policy. So if the stock goes down, you don't lose money. How do you do that? Well, that's called a put. Okay, it's like life insurance, right? God forbid the stock goes down. If it does, you make a lot of money on the put. If the stock goes up, you're happy you own it. You just lose this much money. It's like a life insurance policy. I'm worth more dead than alive. Sort of true. Anyway, so with a life insurance policy, which is similar to a put, I pay this much money per month. Okay, if God forbid something happens to me, then this policy is worth a lot. If nothing happens, this goes to zero, hopefully, God forbid. Now let's take a look at NVIDIA's put options here. And the reason, by the way, that you might want to buy put options on NVIDIA if you own a lot of it, again, is you don't want to pay taxes, right? You think it's going to go up a lot, but you don't want it to go down either. Otherwise, you're screwed. So you protect yourself. So let me show you how this works. So let's go here to Yahoo Finance. Let's type NVIDIA, and don't pay for research from any company, okay? When it comes to this stuff. I was once sponsored by my first company a couple weeks ago. No longer doing that anymore because I'm true and pure. All of you read between the lines. Okay, so you go here to options, okay? So let's say you own NVIDIA. And let's say that you want to sell the stock, I don't know. Let's go here to, let's go late this year. And you don't want to pay, you're really worried. Actually, you don't want to sell the stocks, you want to pay taxes, but you're worried it's going to go down. So what you can do is you can buy a put option, okay? And you scroll all the way down here. This is the most liquid options I've ever seen in any company. Oh my God, look at that. Okay, finally we get to puts. That's unbelievable. Yeah. So you'll buy a put that's out of the money, right? And it'll cost you a very, very low amount. So I'm just going to pick a random number here. Let's say, I don't know, 120. So you'll pay this amount for a contract. Okay, this is the bid and the ask spread. You'll pay about this amount times 100. And that will protect your capital just in case, God forbid, NVIDIA goes down when you own it. Now, if you have any follow-up questions about options or protecting your portfolio, please let me know, and thank you. All right, now, one last thing I want to say on options, okay? I don't want anybody here to ever sell options, meaning underwrite them, okay? Because if you do that and you become a market maker, what can happen is you can lose much, much more money than you invested if you get randomly assigned. I can talk about that in more detail if you want. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. All right, and the next question is, what's the downside involved using the leap over the stock itself? Yeah, so the downside is that you can lose all the money that you put into that leap. That's okay, it's just a small amount. Okay, always think longer term. All right, next question is, to go into PWM, private wealth management careers, especially if you're trying to switch careers, what will be the initial career move to make and build a track record? Yeah, so private wealth management is probably the best job you can get in the entire financial services sector. And I mentioned that, and by the way, PWM or private wealth management means you're like a retail broker for very rich people. The reason it's one of the best careers to choose is because it's one of the only careers in finance that you can actually take your clients with you and leave the bank. For example, let's say that you start working at Wells Fargo in PWM, private wealth management. and then Morgan Stanley calls you and says, hey, come to our platform, bring all your clients. We'll pay you a bonus of this much. You can do that. You own the client. Now, in terms of getting clients, when you first start out doing it, you're not going to get paid very much, but you got to be long-term greedy. And what that means is you're going to start on a team of other PWM folks in a big firm like a Goldman, for example. And you're just going to be doing administrative stuff initially. You'll be adding value to the clients, telling them, hey, I think you should buy this stock, etc., or diversify your portfolio, whatever it is. Then eventually, as with all companies and all roles in every firm ever, you become a salesperson. And that's what a partner is in a law firm, venture capital firm, etc., and a CEO. They're salespeople. So when you move up through the ranks in private wealth management, you become a salesperson. And what that means is you're hunting for assets. You're trying to find wealthy people to invest with you. And a lot of my clients actually have their own private wealth management firms. They've done incredibly well. And the way it works is you get about 1% of the assets you manage every year as a fee, generally speaking. Yeah. Now you got to network a lot. Your network is your net worth, and relationships are more important than product knowledge. And then the MBA degree program that starts on January 27th per this link here, we start off on day one with how to network and how to sell. Yeah. And if you have follow-up questions about that, let me know, please. Okay, next question is from Sean, which is, how do you balance typing while walking on the desk treadmill? Yeah, I get about 20,000 to 30,000 steps a day in my office here. And what I do, and I'm going to show you the link for this real quick, okay? What I do is I type when I'm walking on this treadmill, okay? Now I put my Apple Watch in my pocket so I can count steps, okay? And so I just move it up here, right? So my keyboard is now up high here, and I'm able to think. And the reason, let me show you another angle of this, and you're gonna see how messy my office is, okay? I tried to hide all the mess, yeah. But I type up here. The reason why I do this is because I realized when I was younger, and a lot of my students have 10x their daily productivity by doing what I'm going to tell you to do right now. I realized when I was younger, the first hour of studying in the morning, I got a lot of work done. And then at night when I tried to cram for 10 hours or so, I got less work done than the 1 hour. And so I realized through biohacking that you can trick your brain into thinking you just woke up by exercising all day while you work. I promise you, this is life-changing. You kill two birds with one stone as well, because you're helping your heart. You treat this right, this works good, or etc. And let me show you where to buy this product. I don't make any money on affiliates. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't think I'll ever do another sponsor again. But let me go here to my orders. I bought this multiple times. I bought it for my son, who's in university. He's kicking butt, partially because of this and because he has my wife's intelligence genes. Okay, here we go. So here it is here, okay? This is it. It's $139. It's life-changing, okay? You can put it under your couch as well. You can buy a stand-up desk like I have as well, as you can see here. Now, I was on vacation in Florida seeing my parents. And in their condo downstairs, there is actually a gym. And so I bought this, and I put this directly onto their treadmill while I was working. You can watch Toy Story as well if you want to. Yeah. All right. Next question. Okay. Ooh, this is a tricky one for me. So Sean wrote, how do you best use Seeking Alpha screeners to screen for stocks? Yeah, this is a company I was sponsored by, okay? I will show you because they gave me a free account here as part of the sponsorship, okay? And I'm always conflicted because if I sponsor something, I don't want to be biased. So if you're going to use Seeking Alpha, it's great, okay? It's great just for screening, but don't listen to their or anybody's stock tips, okay? Including mine. Do your own research. But all you would do is here, you'd click here on stock screeners, okay? And then what you can do, it's pretty intuitive. You can just click here on growth stocks, and then you can just kind of click here up here to sort whatever it is. You can add different criteria in advanced filters, etc. Dividends, if it's a value stock, for example, all that stuff. Okay. All right. Next question I've got here. Hey, Mildred, how are you? Great to see you. Mildred's one of my amazing diamond students. I hope you had a great holiday. And congratulations on the puppies your dog just had as well. Mildred, by the way, so she's based in Houston. She has a massive online language company. I'll interview her on my weekly soon, so you guys can learn from her. I've learned a lot from her. But Mildred also has the exact same treadmill as I do, and she's kicking butt. Yeah, great to see you, and Happy New Year. All right, moving on to Ida, who graduated from, I think it was my gold program recently, who's from Cambridge, Ontario. She's a radiologist like my father, which means she also knows how to fix radios. I'm so sorry. That was 20 minutes until there's dad humor. I love you, though. So Ida wrote, happy to see you here. I hope that you're safe from the fires in California. Yeah, I am. Thanks. My son is 5 hours south of here, so he's getting a bit of the smoke and stuff. But it's just tragic what's happening. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, that's more in Los Angeles, in the southern part. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Rafi. Oh my God, it's been years. Rafi, I think was in my first class in 2019. You're based in Washington State. You love investing, and you got a certification from Morgan Stanley. I remember that. You wrote, "How are you? Happy New Year." During my research in your course, real estate, I saw a news in the city that there is an overheated supply of condo units for 36 months. What does that mean? It means don't buy, or if you're going to buy way below market value. Now, for those of you in my MBA degree program, I recently published a new elective exclusively available to my MBA students. Okay, it's a real estate course. And what I want you to pay attention to is I want you to go over here to selecting property to buy. And I want you to use the 5 different valuation methodologies, as you can see here, okay, to value that condo. I'd pay particular attention to the net present value as well, to see if you can get it at a massive discounts. You want to make sure you look at rental prices as well in the area. Now, for this course here, I ask you a ton of questions. I create your income statement, balance sheet, formulas, etc. And everything is put into a 1-page executive summary and a business plan as well. And so the business plan, and it's a cliche, but I always feel that failing to plan is plan to fail. And so in a lot of my courses, my electives, and in my MBA program, I have you write a business plan that I automatically export from the Excel file for you. Okay, that analyzes everything about real estate. Okay, this is the best investment you can ever make. Not my program, but real estate. Yeah. Okay, and I can talk about that in more detail if you want me to. Okay. All right. Next up, Dane. I knew this was going to come. Okay, so Dane wrote, Justin Trudeau confirmed he will resign. You called it weeks ago. Thank you. Who's likely to replace him? Yeah, my call was he would resign or be pushed out somehow by March. Yeah. So Justin Trudeau, for those of you not familiar, he runs the Liberal Party in Canada, where I'm from. He's way too left wing. Okay, so on a political spectrum, right wing means, capitalism, Republicans, and then communism is over here, and Democrats are in the middle. Over here, I should say. He's way over here. Okay, he's a socialist. I'm glad he resigned. He's the worst prime minister we've ever had. That's not a personal attack on him. It's just his policies. Housing prices in Canada are higher than in the US, and the average Canadian's net worth has gone down 30 to 40% during his tenure. It's just terrible. This is one of the many reasons why Donald Trump is making these statements on, I think he has this platform called Truth Social. Yeah. So I think net, this is a great thing for Canadians. The only problem is this, though. The problem is that he resigned, and one of the reasons he resigned is so that the Liberal Party can win again. And almost everybody in the Liberal Party supported everything he said over the years. Just terrible stuff. And so that means a Liberal could win. My hope, my intention, I think this will probably happen, is Pierre Poilievre will win. He is progressive conservative. He's more right-wing. Yeah. Not too right-wing. Yeah. So it's net, it's a good thing. You'll see the Canadian dollar spiked to up to about 70 cents the second that news was announced. This is great. Trudeau used to be a drama teacher, and I bought a t-shirt that I was going to wear in my weekly webcast. My mom convinced me not to. That said, "Make Trudeau a drama teacher again." Yeah. Thank you, Mom. All right. All right. So next question I've got here is Peter, who wrote, "Hey, Chris, do you think there's anything to Trump's announcements on Canada, Panama, and Greenland, the USA versus NATO would get pretty messy?" Yeah. So one thing about Trump, love him or hate him, I'm not going to get political here, but love him or hate him, whenever he negotiates, he goes extreme. So usually when two people negotiate, this is what happens. Party A says, I want this. Party B says, I want this. They meet here. When Trump negotiates, this is the way he's always been. Party A says this. Party T for Trump says this. Okay? And then they meet closer to what he wants. So it's extreme what he's asking for, right? So anyway, it's arbitration negotiation, sort of. I think it's more likely that Greenland becomes part of the United States. And the reason I say that is because Denmark is going to have to let them go anyway. It's going to become an independent country per their constitution and legislation over the years. And then I think there'll be some kind of referendum. And Greenland has just over 50,000 people. I think they'll vote to become part of the United States. Now, the reason that Trump wants us to be part of the United States is for defense reasons and also some rare earth natural resource reasons too. Defense because Chinese and Russian subs are basically close to the north of our planet, which is one of the reasons why he wants to partner with Canada. In terms of the Panama Canal, there's two sides of every story. There really is. So what happened was France tried to build the Panama Canal in the 1800s. They messed it up, didn't work. So the United States came in the early 1900s. They built it, and it was kind of an American territory. Panama used to be part of Colombia, and the U.S. kind of helped it to become an independent country. And then the Carter administration, and God bless Jimmy Carter, recently passed away. I love that man. But the Carter administration eventually said, okay, Panama, you can take it back. Now, Trump wants to get access to that. Again, he's being extreme. I don't think Panama will become part of the U.S., but I think they'll find some kind of a negotiation to make it happen. I got to go off script and talk about Jimmy Carter for a second. So I met him. I've had this book on my bookshelf for years. When I was at Columbia, he came and I met him. He signed his book as well. He's a good guy, man. And when I was lining up to get at the Columbia bookstore on Broadway to get his autograph here, there was a guy in front of me who was from a remote village in Pakistan. And he said, Mr. Carter, there are geopolitical issues in my hometown. Can you help me? And the Secret Service stepped in and said, Mr. Carter, President Carter, you want us to take care of this? And he said, no, let me help the guy. And so I had to wait there for like 15 minutes for my autograph. And Jimmy talked to him and helped him. It was the coolest thing. God bless Jimmy Carter. Sources of Strength, great book. I can't speak. All right. Yeah, but with respect to Canada becoming part of the United States, of course, my family and I were on this text daily. We talk about it. The benefit would be that taxes would go down materially, like 60% lower. Yeah. And they'd be able to reverse a lot of the problems that Trudeau had. But it's a tough call, though, because we're all proud to be Canadian. This is my Tim Hortons mug. 70% of coffee sold in Canada is through Tim Hortons. It's huge. We're all proud to be Canadian. So I'd say it's less likely, but you never know. You never know. Yeah, I just hope it stays peaceful. I'm sure it will. Yeah. Okay. All right, next up, Ali, how are you? Ali graduated from my MBA program, it was like 5 years ago or so. Ali wrote, Ali from Zambia, I'm a proud silver MBA student, that's right, and your humble student since 2018, thank you. I can proudly say I've watched all of your 300 office hours. Thanks for being you. Thank you so much. The first office hour, I looked a lot younger. Dude, I was nervous in the first office hours because there was no questions. So I always had a script of what to say. Yeah. Thank you. I'm consistently bad. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I want everybody to start their own YouTube channel while you can. Because I think that if you start your own YouTube channel right now, okay, and don't care what people think of you, just get your product out. If you start it right now, you can establish the brand of you quickly. And if you don't do it within the next couple of years, then AGI, meaning artificial general intelligence, will become a reality to the extent that people will be learning from avatars. Now is the time. Put your flag in the sand, so to speak, and create your YouTube channel. I explain exactly how to market yourself on all major platforms in my MBA degree program. Read more about it there. All right, let's move on now to Ya, who graduated from my gold program an hour and a half ago. Great to see you. And I'm looking forward to meeting you and your husband, I think, on September 27th for my annual gold, platinum, and diamond alumni and graduation ceremony here in the Bay Area. I saw you're on the list. Good to see you. Andre, how are you? Happy New Year to you as well. Always good to see you. Moving on to MD Gamer. First time I've seen you on the call. Hope you join us again. So MD wrote, can you explain which is better, options or futures? I just started trading, but some big losses trying to learn the stuff. Yeah, so futures is used more so for commodity products as well as for currencies. Stay away from that. Don't touch it. And the reason is, if you look at commodities and currencies, for example, it's really, really tough to predict what the price of a currency or a commodity is going to be, because it's usually controlled by geopolitical events. Yeah, it's hard. So what I would do is step one, I would do fundamental research per that 100-step template I showed you earlier today. Pick a stock that has a ton of upside and then buy leaps. Yeah. All right. E-Dash wrote, good morning, Chris. I hope and pray for you and the people of California. Stay safe out there. Thank you. I think 5 people have passed away so far. It's tragic. Again, that's in Southern California. I'm in Northern California. Yeah. It's terrible. Okay, next up, Sean wrote, following on the question with leaps. Sure. What if we buy at the money option, ATM, with an expiration in 2 years from now? Will it avoid the risk of not reaching your target in case you missed on the growth rate? If the stock goes up materially, that call option will go up, period. Yeah. Make sure that you only invest in very liquid options as well, because as I mentioned in my YouTube shorts, illiquid stocks own you in a down market. And that's why a lot of hedge funds went belly up in 2008, because they owned illiquid stuff. They couldn't sell it fast enough and they got redemptions. Yeah. All right. Next up, Victor wrote, hey, Chris, just want to say Happy New Year. Your podcast is one of my favorites every week. Thank you. I listen to it every week since I found it. Thank you for sharing great lessons. Thank you. I appreciate that. And for those of you not familiar with my podcast, it's just a syndicate of this weekly webcast on all major platforms, Apple, Spotify, etc. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And Ali wrote here, other than the Bloomberg platform as shown in many movies, which other trading investing software platforms can be used for managing a portfolio? There's nothing really out there. I mean, you can use free products like Yahoo Finance if you care, and you can create a portfolio within Yahoo Finance. I can show you how right now it's free to use. Many other platforms do this, or dime a dozen. It's all free. Never pay for any research. There's no other resource out there like Bloomberg that I'd ever recommend, though. And I don't recommend getting Bloomberg. When I ran my hedge fund, I used to pay thousands of dollars a month for my analysts for Bloomberg. And then I realized that everything in Bloomberg you can do for basically free. That's right. Using Yahoo Finance. You don't need it. Yeah. But when I prepare every day for this weekly webcast, and just every morning, I always do 2 things. I do this. Alexa, finance news today.
From Bloomberg. News when you want it.
Alexa,
Bloomberg
stop. So I listen to that on Alexa. It's free. Well, you have to be an Amazon subscriber. I also do this. Alexa, Wall Street Journal news.
From the Wall Street Journal.
One thing
Alexa,
RSM may not...
stop. Yeah, that's how I get my news every morning. Yeah, while I'm showering. Okay. All right. Next up, Tariq wrote, I bought some courses and 10-year courses, and they're great, sir. I'm 19 now. What should I do? Thank you. Oh, to be 19 again. Yeah. If you're not sure what you want to do in life, doesn't matter if you're 19 or 60, and you want to change careers. What I would do is I would set up a ton of informational meetings with people that work in different industries that you might be interested in transitioning to. I teach you how to do this in my MBA program in a lot of detail. For example, when I was your age, I wanted to be a lawyer because, I don't know, my brother's a doctor. I thought law makes sense to do. And I saw A Few Good Men. I read every John Grisham book. And I set up informational meetings with lawyers. And, oh my God, the most abrasive people. Yes, I'm stereotyping. I don't give a damn. Here I go. Unless you're a civil rights lawyer, then I love you. And I came to the conclusion that I didn't know if you're a jerk before you go to law school or if that's something they teach you in law school. So I didn't go for that. I went for something else. I'm glad I'm teaching. Those who can't do, teach. And those who can't teach, teach gym class. And I suck at sports. You're all out of luck. I'm kidding about teachers. Sorry. No, I am kidding. I am. Yeah, Mark, with respect to Seeking Alpha, why'd you nix them? I still make money from them if you buy through a link that I don't put in my videos anymore. Look, they're a great company. I just don't feel comfortable partnering with anybody that's going to tell you what stocks to buy. If you use Seeking Alpha, it is a great product, okay? It is. I don't want you to listen to their or anybody's opinions on what stocks to buy. You can use it for screening. It's great for that. Okay. And don't ever watch CNBC or MSDNC or those shows and take advice from them in terms of what stocks to buy. Always do your own research. If you don't do your own research on stocks that you buy, then you'll make the cardinal sin of investing, which is this. You'll sell it when it goes down. And we've all done that. And Warren Buffett said the New York Stock Exchange is the only store in the world where consumers sell stuff when it goes on sale. So true. Okay. All right, Mac1111 wrote, Chris, I just started the ChatGPT AI for finance professionals and investing in stocks like a pro investor. I have to revisit your options course again. Yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you. Yeah. All right, Satones, good to see you. I am fine. And God bless you. I love you, man. Yeah. You wrote, Happy New Year. Glad to see you're safe. Yes. How far are you away from the fire? Love and take care. And I love when you type in all caps because it reminds me of my grandfather. Grandpa, I miss you. And I know you weren't yelling at me when you typed emails all in caps. Yeah. So I'm quite north of the fires. So the Bay Area, California, where I live here, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. The left coast is a great place to live if you can deal with the taxes. Okay. All right. Next up, the review show wrote, hey, Chris, what are some ideal roles that an individual with a law degree lawyer play in the financial sector? Yeah, when I worked at Goldman Sachs years ago, I actually worked with a lot of Harvard Law School graduates, right? And the good thing about about having a law degree, okay, if you're not going to practice law, is that you understand contracts, right? And this is basically informally an S1 contract between the investment bank, the company going public, Meta in this case, this is from 2012, and the investors, right? Sort of, right? It lists all the risks, et cetera. You become very good with contracts and negotiations. Yeah. 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 So a lot of investment wankers actually have law degrees. Yeah. Okay. Now you see why I don't want to be sponsored by anybody. I can say what I want. Okay. All right. And one thing I realized with YouTube, okay, and freedom of speech is an important thing. It broke my heart in 2021 because one of my gold students on an unlisted webcast, a small webcast, he's a doctor from, I think, Ohio. Smart guy, really nice guy. And he just expressed his views on why he's an anti-vaxxer. I got vaccinated by Pfizer, but he said why he's an anti-vaxxer. I was like, okay, cool. It's good to hear both sides. And then YouTube gave me a warning, okay? And it killed me. They gave me a warning. They said, we took that video down. You do it again, you're getting a strike. They took it down for medical misinformation. Then they made me write an exam. It was like the thought police. And I didn't agree with the answers, but I had to click things, right? But anyway, it killed me. And I realized at that point that freedom of speech is a government thing. It's not a social media thing. And I'm very glad that Elon took over X, okay, Twitter, because it balanced the scales of not being too left-wing leaning. We need to have difference of opinions in America. It's healthy, right? And even Mark Zuckerberg, recently, bowed to Trump by saying, take it with a grain of salt, by saying that we're changing our platform now because we found, he basically said this without saying it. We basically found that our platform was favoring Democrat policies and anti-Trump, okay? All right. Now, I didn't vote in the last election, but I believe in freedom of speech. Yeah. So anyway, and I think Elon is a hero. And I love his tweet he mentioned about Trudeau the other day. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second to catch up here. All right. Next up, Matteo, how are you, man? Good to see you. Matteo was in my gold program last year, I think. You're 26 now from Italy, right? Yeah, good to see you. You wrote, hey, Chris, how's life? Great. Just want to say hello and tell you that after nearly 7 years in strategy consulting for an accidenture, I finally decided to switch my career and become a financial advisor. I love it. Excellent, excellent. And I spent 4 years working in consulting. And when I worked there, I got a bunch of awards, whatever, but this is the one I'm most proud of. It was Best Mentor of the Year in 98. That's how old I am. And every job I had, it was really uncomfortable for my boss during review time. They would say something like this: "You're doing a great job. You're adding a lot of value, top producer, all that stuff, yada, yada. However, can you spend a little bit less time mentoring people not on our team?" And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't say I agree. And I want you all to mentor other people, because when one teaches, two learn. That's the right thing to do as well. Yeah. And for those of you confused in terms of what to do with your career, my son Andrew, he's third year at Berkeley. He's working in investment banking. I told people this. I always tell my students this. Okay, if you're not sure what you want to do with your career, then I want you to start in what's called an origination role. You originate a product, and if you don't like originate it, you can sell the product, do operations on the product, etc. Let me give you 3 examples real quick. An origination job in finance is investment banking. Okay, you create the IPO prospectus or the M&A strategy. Okay, you create the product. The second of 3 origination jobs is consulting. You work in corporate strategy or tech consulting like I did at Accenture, great company. You create the product. The third or 3rd example, as my son Andrew used to say, of origination is in technology. Say you work at Google, you're a developer, you code and stuff. Now, if you hate these 3 aforementioned jobs or originating the product, it's okay because you're uber marketable. What does that mean? Well, because you created the product, you know how to create the product. You can move on to sell the product, trade the product. Please don't be a trader. Manage people working on the product, or create your own company that disrupts the product. That's an origination role. Yeah. All right. Now, if for becoming a financial advisor, Matteo, you got to network like crazy. Yeah. So revisit the first 3 lectures of the MBA curriculum. That will help you tremendously, I promise you. My success rate on getting meetings with people I've never met before leveraging LinkedIn has always been 95%. I don't say it to impress you. Rather, I say it to impress upon the fact you can do it as well. Business is about relationships first and product knowledge second. Always. Okay, you got to ask. And I'm sure there's lots of people on this call right now that look around at work and you're frustrated. You're frustrated because that person got a raise or a promotion faster than you did. Do you know why? Because behind closed doors, they asked. They asked for that raise or promotion. You got to ask. And you'll never know that's happening because it's always behind closed doors. Every person in all the companies you work at that are vice president or above have done that many times. And I can go into detail on exactly how to ask for a promotion or a raise. And this works. If you want me to, just let me know. Thank you. Okay. All right. Next up, Ali wrote, if you lived in a third world country, would you risk it and use an offshore broker to buy stocks or invest in equities? Seems our banks do not offer brokerage services, sadly. Yeah. If you do it, I would only do it with reputable firms, very large, well-known companies like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, etc. And I would put only a certain amount in each bank because of FDIC insurance. So in the United States, I think if a bank that you put your money in goes belly up, you get insured up to $250K. So if you have more than that, just make sure diversify. Yeah. And talk to your accountant about it. Everybody's got to have their own accountant. If you don't have an accountant, folks, it's like doing surgery on yourself. I know that sounds out there, but I'm trying to prove a point here, because the tax code changes all the time, and good accountants will get you tax breaks, and they'll help you from stopping making foolish mistakes before investing in something. Always call your accountant before you invest in something non-traditional. All right. All right, Manas, how are you? Manas, my silver student from Calcutta. Great to see you. Thank you so much for the YouTube love as well. I do appreciate that. I don't read every comment. I get a lot, but I see yours, and thank you. Good morning, my dear mentor, Chris, please. Happy New Year and happy 100K. It's been a journey. Good morning, my dear mentor. Good morning to you as well. God bless you. Moving on to Keith, who said, so don't sell naked options, correct? I would assume it's okay to write spreads with long-short options. Also, if you trade iron condors, what are the odds of being assigned on the short side? It's still high. Some people say it's up to 10%, right? I said up to in case there's lawyers on the call. But there's still a risk. I wouldn't sell options, period, until you've had a lot of experience. Now, in terms of iron condors, let me see if I have the right spreadsheet open here. Let's go over here. Yeah, so for those of you not familiar with iron condors, there are 4 options in an iron condor, and you can make money on one or two sides or protect yourself entirely. But I want you to practice this a lot, which you can do in my MBA curriculum here. And I actually create a report for you for iron condors. I didn't know what else to call backspread with puts. Hi there. Yeah. All right. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right. The Berlin. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. How are you? Great to see you. Happy New Year. Thank you. Your daughter reached out to me. She's applying to universities, and she did, I think it was an internship with me as well. She's wicked smart, and it was wonderful meeting you and your wonderful family. I think it was 2023 at my annual graduation networking event here in the Bay Area, and I was so happy for you when the Dodgers won the World Series. I was thinking of you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, Manas wrote, "Isn't it insulting when elect says make Canada 51st state? If someone says make India the sub of their country, I'd be offended. Actually, why are Canadians so cool with that? Laughing. They're not. They're not. The people that are cool with it are the ones that were really, really fed up with Trudeau. Now, since Trudeau has resigned, the probability of Canada becoming the 51st state has gone down materially. Yeah. Canadians are proud people. Yeah. But Trump is, and I'm going to try to be neutral here. Okay. There's a lot of negative things and positive things about all politicians. But what Trump does is he's very extreme when he tries to negotiate a deal and then he gets something in return. What I do agree with Trump in terms of tariffs against Mexico and Canada is the saber rattling and posturing initially to try to stop fentanyl and opioids from entering the country, right? So if what results is the tariffs don't change very much, but opioids are no longer brought into America, or fentanyl, then God bless Trump for doing that, because he saved thousands of lives. I don't think people realize how many people die of opioids each year. Yeah. Okay. All right. Center of the board who donated $5. Thank you so much. They'll go directly to Project Magoo. We're building our second school now in Kenya, and we're building a couple more later this year. And Angela Yu, actually, one of the best Udemy teachers, just reached out to me. She wants to help out. I'm having a call with her next week on that. And then you wrote, Jimmy Carter was the last person to level with Americans. Yeah, he was a good dude. Yeah, we miss him. Yeah. And no president has ever done what he's done, had an impact in the world like that after they were president. Yeah. All right, next up is Nicholas. How are you? Wrote, you're going to be proud to be American pretty soon. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it'll happen. I'm a dual citizen, so I have both. So when I go to Europe, I bring my Canadian passport. Like my American buddies used to put a Canadian flag on backpacks when they went. Am I offending people? I'm sorry. Yeah. But what I learned since moving to the United States is that the way that an American screws in a light bulb is they hold it up and the whole world spins around. It's really cool, actually, the way it works. I'm totally kidding, okay? But I poked fun at Canada. I can poke fun at America as well. I'm happy and proud to be here. Laugh at me, not with me, folks. Okay. All right. And when I became an American citizen, actually, the process was pretty cool. So when I worked at Goldman Sachs, Goldman was great to me. They hired a lawyer to get me my green card, and everybody on my team. And then 9/11 happened, and everybody on my team got a green card, but not me. It's because of my Arabic roots. I'm very proud to be Arabic. But what happened was 6 months after 9/11, Bush was furious because what happened was the terrorists that were dead, that lived in the United States, their visas were renewed and mailed to their houses 6 months after they died. And so Bush, rightly so, put his foot down and stopped. They made it harder for people to get visas. I finally got my green card in 2007. And then I had to study. And dude, they did research on me. Like when I went into the San Francisco government offices here, they had a file this thick on me. They did so much research. And it actually made me feel good. Made me feel good that, there hasn't been any repeat terrorist attacks here, that the government is doing a great job. It did piss me off initially, though, because I'd go to LaGuardia, the airport after 9/11, and they'd always say you're on that list, right? So I was on the no-fly list. But it was cool though because the lines were crazy long, and I always look at the positives of everything. I would go to the front of the line. I'd say I'm on that list, and they'd say, "Okay, sir, no problem at all. Who do you want to search you? Is it a woman or a man?" I said, "Woman, of course." Okay, let me move on before I get myself into trouble. All right. Ilker Yoldas said, Happy New Year to you too. You wrote, I've created a channel 14 years ago, but just started creating content again, mostly gaming related and geek humor. I love it. The best acquisition that Amazon ever did was they bought Twitch for about $1 billion, next to nothing. Yeah. Start streaming your games. Yeah. Okay. All right. Manas wrote, Trump said he would tariff BRICS, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa now, 100% if they make gold the currency. Will this stop them? And why is he always so aggressive as leader of the most powerful nation? And will thus be his last term? Yeah. You can't run for more than you can't be president for more than 8 years. One of the problems with Canada and many political systems, Commonwealth systems around the world, is there's no term limits. There certainly should be. Yeah. I don't think he's not going to put 100% tariff. He's not crazy. Right. But as I mentioned earlier, the art of the deal for him, so to speak, is he says this, the other party says this, they meet kind of here. Yeah. He would never do that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, Ren wrote, I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for a while now, but I struggle with two things. Number one, I feel like everything I have to say has been said already. And in my career, I have found success in keeping my head down. And moving in silence, and fear putting content out and disrupting what I've been doing the past few years. Do you have any advice for overcoming that? Yeah, okay, dude. So, all right. When we're younger, we're in school. We keep our head down. We work hard. We get good grades. Our parents are proud of us. We're happy. Our teachers leave us alone. It's cool. Then you move on to the real world, and you work at a big company. You keep your head down. You work hard. You think you'll get noticed. And then a couple years go by, and you're like, dude, WTF? Why the face? Everybody around me is getting promoted faster than me and raises. Why is that? Because they asked. You have to remind people of your accomplishments too. And you can do it tactfully in your annual review meetings. I can go into detail on that. And I can promise you I'll help many of you on this call to be able to get a raise or promotion. Actually, I'm going to go there right now. All right. Here's how you get a raise or promotion. Okay. Your boss comes up to you and says, you did a great job on this. Right, this is a big milestone, whatever. You immediately say thank you. Do you have time for a coffee? And they usually say yes, or get on their calendar. Then in the meeting, what you do is you say this, if true, of course. We've accomplished a lot as a team. I love working here. This is just the beginning too for us. Now, as you know, it's very expensive to raise a family here in the Bay Area, and I want to provide the best standard of living I possibly can for my family. As a result, I'd love to ask you, please, to let me know, please. What do I need to accomplish? Meaning, what additional value do I need to add to our team in order to be considered for a raise or a promotion? And they'll tell you. And you write everything down, obviously, right? Then you thank them profusely for their time. And when the bill comes for the coffee, oh yeah, important. When the bill comes for the coffee, you have to do this too. I have alligator hands. I can't find my wallet. And T-Rex can't do push-ups. No. All right. Then what you do is 3 or 6 months down the road, when they come up to you again and compliment you on something, on a job well done, you say, do you have time for coffee? In that coffee meeting, you say this. You start off with the crap about the team. I'm sorry, the stuff about the team. We've accomplished a lot together. And I want to humbly ask you, please. As I mentioned last time, it's expensive raising a family here in the Bay Area. And I'm humbled to say that I've fulfilled the criteria on the 5 things needed for a promotion. I want to provide the best standard of living for my family, so I'd like to ask you again, please, for a promotion. Okay. You have to ask more than once, though. Okay. They may push back and say, yeah, but you need to do this. You're like, no problem at all. Thank you. Yeah, fucker. Thank you. Right. And then you meet with them again, rinse, lather, repeat until you get the promotion. That is how people do it behind closed doors. Everybody around you that's making more money than you, got promoted more times than you. They do this behind closed doors, but nobody teaches you this in business school. That's why I teach this in my MBA degree program. I promise you this works. I've had tons of students that have gotten raises and promotions by doing this. Plus, if you ask for a promotion, it plants a seed subconsciously in the mind of your manager that they think, goodness, this person might leave and this is a top producer. Or when your manager has to choose to let somebody go in your team, and usually what happens is when people get fired from companies, they usually, they cut into muscle, not just fat. But senior management asks each manager, I want one head from each team. And they'll think about it and they'll say, this guy's really long-term focused with me. I'm going to keep him with me. Yeah. All right. If you have follow-up questions about that, let me know. Okay. All right. Yeah. In terms of caring what people think you, oh my God, when it comes to a YouTube channel, please don't live that way. Okay. I'm going to give you one piece of advice right now that is going to materially increase your happiness for the rest of your life. You ready? I want you to write down, everybody, get a pen, please. Hey, you, get a pen. Okay, good. Everyone's got a pen. I want you to write this down. I don't care what people think of X. And X, I want you to fill in the blank, do this 10 times. For example, I don't care what people think of my awful hair dye. It is awful. I've been gray since my 20s. When I worked at Goldman, people used to say, Chris Haroun, going gray, that's okay. I don't care what people think of the fact that I'm a teacher and I don't work in venture capital anymore. I don't care. I don't care that people find out that I still play video games every day, and when GTA 6 comes out, y'all ain't going to see me for at least a month, okay? I don't care. I mean, I do care about my students, of course. I don't care the way I look. I don't care that my nose is massive. It's very aerodynamic, though I can kick everyone's butt in a ski race because of it. I don't care what people think of, I don't know, the fact that I'm wearing a suit. Oh, this is so ridiculous. I don't care the fact that I'm hiding this tie because I couldn't get it long enough. You're supposed to put it down to your belt. I'm wearing like Lululemon pants. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people think of the fact that I failed over and over and over again. And as Michael Jordan said, that is why I succeed. I failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. I don't care. I want you to take this exercise seriously, please. It's a subtle art of not giving a darn what people think. And only then can you live your life in your own terms and reach your full potential in life. And all the best entrepreneurs in the world, people that put their dent in the universe, think this way. They don't give a damn. It's therapeutic. It's cathartic. Do it with me. I don't care. I promise you that this works. Okay. All right. Mouse wrote, will Trudeau be back as prime minister? Oh my God, I hope not. No way. In a decade. I bet he will maybe in 2032. He is young like you. Thank you, I'm not. But yeah, how tall is he anyway? Dumb question. Yeah, I met him. He's my height, 6 feet. Yeah. He won't be back, dude. Okay, I met him. Okay, I was in university with him. I gotta tell you a quick story. I'm gonna go off script here. Okay. All right. So it's 1994. I'm at McGill University. And I'm in 4th year. And there's this girl that is so gorgeous that nobody talks to her. Nobody talks to her. She's untouchable. It's unbelievable, right? My wife is way better than her if she's watching. Love you, Christine. So gorgeous. And, I was in my last semester. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to her. And as Sir Richard Branson said, screw it, let's do it. So there was this event on campus. And it was a charity event by the McLennan Library. And it was a sunny day. I went up to her. And I said, hi, I'm Chris. And we started talking. And she's stunning. 5 minutes go by. We're still talking. I was like, oh my God, am I dreaming? 10 minutes go by. We're still talking. Right? And she's laughing at my jokes. And y'all know how awful my dad's humor is. And I'm like, I got to ask for a number. I got to close it. I got to ask for a number. 30 minutes go by. We're still talking. It's unbelievable. Right? She's laughing at my awful joke. And you know how bad my jokes are. And then this dude walks up out of nowhere. Okay. He looks like Jim Morrison. Okay? So this dude walks by with long hair. And he starts talking to her. And all of a sudden, she turns her back and she's ignoring me. And she's laughing at his jokes. And his jokes are brutal, right? One thing we have in common is we're teachers, I guess. This person. And you know who this person is going to be. Let me close this to limit exposure. All right. And I didn't know what to do. I was being blocked, or Heisman, I should say. And so I go to him. I was like, I'm nobody, right? I go, hi, Chris Haroun. And he goes, Justin Trudeau. I'm like, dude, I just got Heisman by a Kennedy. I can't compete with that. But he was nice. Yeah. Shitty prime minister, but nice. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Prox Navam wrote, I have a very repetitive job at a fraud department for a FinTech company where I do investigations. I'm also doing process improvement, automation, vendor management, and data. What job should I change to? So number one, what I would try to do is I try to disrupt yourself using AI. If it's a repetitive job, try to figure out a way to leverage AI to make that repetitive job easier to do. Once you figure out that process, write a business plan, start your own company to disrupt that industry. Yeah. And a lot of people are scared of AI. Try to disrupt yourself before the marketplace does. Always. That's what I'm doing right now with my business model. I can go into more detail on that if you want me to. Yeah. In terms of what job should you change to? So I would say that if there are people watching right now, they're not passionate about what they do. Here's some advice. Number one, let's pretend for the next 30 days, you're not allowed to leave your house. Okay. You can't work. You can't travel. You can't go to school. What are you going to do with your time? Whatever that is, and I don't care what anybody thinks, that's your passion, your raison d'etre, and you have to go after it. Okay? And I can help you write a business plan in my MBA degree program on that as well. Another way to figure out what your true passion is start being a voracious reader or listener of biographies or autobiographies. And if you listen to biographies or autobiographies of successful people, and you're like, you know what, that guy kind of inspires me, that girl kind of inspires me. What I want to do is what they do as well. It sounds interesting, doesn't sound like work. Then go for it. Alexa, read my book. Alexa, read my book.
Resuming 21 lessons for the 21st century from Audible.
Alexa,
There's
stop.
about
Sorry, I was doing a biography of somebody you all know. Okay. Anyway, that's what I recommend. And really, really successful people, what they do. One of the reasons they became very successful is because they like to help people, right? I know it's a weird thing to say, but I've got this great book here that I read years ago. It's called, let me shut this here. It's called Give and Take. And the most successful people in the world are the 1% of people I net worth are givers. They like to help, right? A lot of billionaires. Yeah, there's a lot of avaricious billionaires as well, but they like to help people. So read books by successful people or listen to them as well. You'll learn a lot. It'll help you work smarter and not harder. It'll help you change careers too, if you want. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next questions. Can everybody please like this? Over the years, I haven't really done that with my channel. It's hurt growth, but I don't care. But everybody click the like button, please. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, Ren wrote, when I say moving in silence, I don't mean posting much on social media or show my success. Would be creating content of how I got to where I am. Just create content. Get it out there, man. Just get it out there. If you look at the early vlogs from Marquise Brownlee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the quality was brutal. It was awful, just like mine. That's okay. Just get it out there. You know, as Salvador Dali said, if you strive for perfection, you'll never reach it. And as Reid Hoffman said, the brilliant co-founder of LinkedIn and now a venture capitalist at Greylock, he once said, if you release your product when it's ready, you've missed the market. Just get it out there. And then what you want to do is you want to analyze the comments from people watching your YouTube content, whatever it is. And for me, I thought all people want to learn from me was finance stuff. Every now and then I go off script to talk about personal growth stuff. People are like, oh, I kind of like that stuff. Let the market guide you. And be you. That's why it's called YouTube. You be you. You do you. Don't care what anybody thinks. Okay. All right, Uncle Coco wrote, why do we have different valuation methods like a DCF, LBO, leverage buyout, yeah, and comparable analysis, and which one do companies use the most? Yeah, the reason we value companies 3 different ways, usually, and investment bankers do this too, is to minimize the margin of error. So if you value a company using price earnings, price to revenue, and DCF, and your target price comes out different for all these, you take an average of the target price, you minimize the margin of error in case one of them is really off, usually DCF. That's why. The best one I like to use is PE. When I value companies, and the way I've made a lot of money humbly on stocks, and I like to invest in what I call 5x5s, 500% return within 5 years. Am I wrong? Almost all the time. But if I'm a little bit right, I make money. The way I do it is, and I show you this in my template in my MBA degree program, the way I do this, the way I make money, okay? And I did this when I worked on Wall Street too, at the top hedge funds in the world. What I do is I create a financial model, okay? And I model what I think my earnings estimates are going to be in 5 or 10 years. And then I value the company based on a PE multiple of what my earnings estimates are in 5 or 10 years. That's it. It's that simple. And that way I don't have to worry about the path of the stock, just the destination. I can sleep at night as well. Yeah. And the way you know you have a good investment idea to invest in, that's going to be life-changing for you, is if you finish the entire write-up. And that's why I have this as part of my MBA curriculum. Yeah. And don't ever listen to me or anybody else in terms of what stocks to buy. Always do your own research. Nobody's smarter than you. Okay. All right. Speaking of nobody is smarter than you, I licensed this life-changing, very short interview with Steve Jobs from the Silicon Valley Historical Association. It's literally 1 minute. Please watch this life-changing advice while I take a quick break. I'll be right back. Thank you.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
All right, thank you for letting me take a quick break. All right, next question is from Ali, which is, are you able to quickly show me how you can manage a portfolio for free using Yahoo Finance? So far, I'm exploring TradingView, but you have to pay for that. Yeah, don't pay for any of that crap. Okay, so let me show you here. Let me go down here, and I have to log in, so hold on a second. Okay, don't pay for anything. All right, so you have to sign in first. Let's see if it remembers me. Oh, goodness. I'll make this real quick, I promise. Next. Okay, so what you do is, and you can sign up for free, right? So you go to research, I think it's stocks, is it here? You go to, my portfolio, see here? Yeah, my portfolio. And then here I have tons of portfolios. For my crypto course, I created one here. REITs, I created here as well. It's really, really easy. Okay, so all you do is you click here on create new portfolio, okay, and then you create manually, okay, and then you go continue, and then what you do is you go basic, and then you can actually call it whatever you want, and then you can add different fields as well, right? Add symbols, fields as well. So you can go, I don't know, Adobe, we should call it Adobe, Microsoft, Oracle, etc. Okay, you add these symbols. Yes. Good. Right here. Nice. Done. That's it. There you go. right? And you can go to settings, you can add more fields as well, and you can also enter in where you bought the stock at, etc. Okay. Okay. And then Manas wrote, why is the Bay Area invented anything for fires in California yet? Or do they have, what is fire big issue in California? Yeah. Oh, it gets really political. I don't want to talk about Gavin Newsom, and I don't really agree with his policies, but you can do a search on that if you want to. So we have a really antiquated infrastructure system here in the Bay Area. Okay, so PG&E, Pacific Gas and Energy, they have all these really old towers with wires going between them, electricity towers and stuff. And it's so antiquated that if a squirrel, like a lot of fires here in the Bay Area, the way it starts, a lot of squirrels, if they jump on the wires, they can catch on fire, they fall to the ground, and then, yeah. So it's an antiquated system. It needs to be updated. Yeah. I'm an environmentalist. I have solar on my roof. I have a Tesla and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm not going to go there. Okay. All right. Skin Bell. Oh, hey, how are you? That's Marin Koros, who I'm building the next school with in Kenya. Wrote, hope you're well and safe in the fires. I am. Thank you. Next up, Lana wrote, yay, I finally catch the weekly live meeting. Glad to be here. First time seeing you, Lana Long. Great to see you. I hope you join us again. God bless. Moving on to Coriolanus, who wrote, Chris, I finally started watching Billions. Very cool. It's fun. I made it through series 1, and I just started series 2, the second season. Yeah. Have you ever met anyone in your career that's actually like the Taylor character? Yeah. No, I have not. I've not. Yeah. Okay. I love the show, and the co-writer, the writer of the series, he actually sent me a really nice message saying he likes what I'm doing. And a lot of people that worked on the show, stage handlers, etc., production, have reached out to me. They love my vlogs as well. All right, teachable moment. When you're about to give a life-changing presentation, I feel like I'm on a Truman Show. I use this product called Clear Voice. So give me a second. If you lose your voice, this works, because the older I get, the better I was. All right, next up, Christian wrote, hey, Chris, thank you for your time and sharing your knowledge with us. You're most welcome, and thank you for being here. My question is, what would be your detailed approach to fundraising for a newly formed micro PE firm, co-investment per SPVs? Yeah. Yeah, so step 1, talk to a securities lawyer to make sure you're protected. And the securities lawyer will make sure that you have subscription documents created, so you only have accredited investors. Step 2, I would network like crazy with high net worth investors. Don't talk to institutions, because when you talk to high net worth investors, the sales cycle is quite short. Okay, and you want to find people you have something in common with. And you can read my book for free called Networking to Get Customers, a Job, or Anything You Want. The way to actually access this is you go to my website, okay, HarounMBA.com. You scroll past all my propaganda here. And then at the bottom, you can download it here for free. Yeah. Don't ever hire a firm that's going to help you to raise capital, because they're all a scam. And the first 5 or 10 or so lectures of my MBA degree program, you can find out more at this link here. I teach you how to network on steroids. All right, you got to write a business plan as well. And in the MBA curriculum, let me show you one more spreadsheet real quick here. Okay, in my MBA degree curriculum, I have what's called the Venture Capital Bootcamp part of the curriculum. And what I do is I teach you how to start a company, how to write a business plan, and also slides to raise capital, etc. And they don't teach us in business school. They don't teach you how to start a business. It's strange. I know. All right. All right. Yeah, an SPV, for those who are not familiar with it, means special purpose vehicle. It's basically a one stock or one investment portfolio. Instead of charging 2 and 20, you charge 1 and 10. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Shub wrote, sir, I have a problem that I want to learn everything in finance economics very quickly, which is not possible. Can you give me any advice? Yeah. 2 things. 3 things. Number 1, every day when you're showering, getting ready, ask Alexa, your device, what the Wall Street Journal news is. Step 2, every day when you're showering or getting ready, ask Alexa for the Bloomberg financial news. Step 3, so that will give you real life stuff, not theoretical. Step 3 is sign up for my MBA degree program. You can sign up for silver if you want to get started right away. There's a 30-day 100% money back guarantee. I teach you everything about finance and accounting from scratch using tons of props in a really, really fun way as well. Yeah. All right. There's a reason why thousands of people have done that program. Okay. All right. And then you wrote, I'd like to create my own business. I feel like I don't have much time or experience to start. Yeah. Okay. So anybody who wants to start a company, please don't do it until you write a business plan, because failing to plan is plan to fail. And I teach you that in my MBA degree program. The way you know you have a decent chance of your business making money and being successful is if you finish the business plan, but nobody does it. You have to. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next up, Mac 1111. Let me know what that means. That's a Bible reference. If so, cool. Mac wrote, funny thing, Chris. A friend of mine just texted me and complained about their 0.5% raise and felt it was unfair. Probably will feel down the rest of the day. Like you suggest, take charge. Yeah, you have to ask. And that's a pitiful raise because it's way below inflation, right? Yeah, you have to ask. Yeah. Or better yet, let me help you find another job. So take my MBA program. You get a 30-day 100% money back guarantee. If I can't help you to get another job within 30 days, get your money back. It works, my stuff. Don't ever apply for a job if you see it opening online. What does that mean? Well, every time you apply for a job online, you have a 1 in 250 chance of getting the job. The person that gets hired almost always knows somebody who works at the company. So I teach you how to network on steroids to get that job. It works. Students of mine have gotten jobs at McKinsey, Goldman Sachs, all the top companies. It's a really simplistic methodology I teach in my MBA degree program. Check it out right here, please. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Lana wrote, any recommendations for growth as we start the new year, specifically for those beginning accounts with less than $5,000 in the brokerage account? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So step 1 is always live below your means. Okay. And what I want you to do is every 2 weeks with your paycheck, if you work for a company, every 2 weeks, I want money to come out and be put directly into your 401k. Now, if you're located overseas, do a search on what is the Canadian equivalent of 401k, for example, in Google, which is RRSP, etc. So I want money to be taken out, okay? Out of sight, out of mind. That will make you live below your means. And I want you to take out more money than you think you can afford. That will really make you be cheap, okay? In terms of what to invest in, I'll leave it up to you. What I do your own research first. If I don't know what stocks to buy, which is rare, but if I don't, I buy ticker VOO, which is the S&P 500 ETF, which I put my life on the line is going to be materially higher 20 years from now. Yeah. That's what I would say. Yeah. And then what I would also do, Lana, and this goes to everyone in this call, is don't do your own accounting. I want you to hire an accountant. How do you hire an accountant? There's no Yelp for accountants. Talk to your rich uncle, aunt, friend, colleague, whatever, and ask them to introduce you to their accountant. And ask the accountant for advice as well on how to structure your retirement account as well. Get them to file your taxes as well. You'll thank me later, I promise you. Yeah. All right. Moving on to Ashish. Hey, Ashish wrote, I love your inputs on how to be a quant without being from a target school. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Yeah. Target school means, a top 20 school where you want to get a job at an investment bank or something. If you don't go to a top 20 school, it's bullshit. What happens is the big firms don't recruit on campus at those companies. So as I mentioned earlier, go and apply. You set up informational meetings with 20 or 30 people that work at each company. You find one thing you have in common with these people, okay, and you can always read this book for more details, as I mentioned earlier, or sign up for my MBA program. You find 1 or 2 things you have in common with somebody, okay, that works at, say, Morgan Stanley. Okay, and then what you do is you send an in-mail, and you say exactly this. And the reason I say in-mail is because every in-mail you've all gotten, you've all read, but certainly not every email. In the in-mail, you write this, subject line, hi. Doesn't even matter, so they're going to read it anyway. And then you write this inside. John, hope all is well. I'm also a graduate of whatever high school you went to. Just find something in common, do an advanced search. Okay, and I also live in the Bay Area. Please let me know if you have time for a coffee. Thanks a lot, Ashish. That's it. You don't say why you want to meet. That's not unethical. But if you say why, they won't answer. Now, why would they accept that meeting with you, Ashish, or anybody? Well, you find somebody 20 years older than you that works at a firm you want to work at. And this person is really similar to you. And let's put it this way, Ashish. Let's say it's 20 years in the future and you're a senior executive at Morgan Stanley. And somebody reaches out to you and sends you a message that says this. Hi, Ashish. Hope all is well. I'm also a graduate of whatever school you went to. And I'm also a member of this club, whatever club is you're a member of. And I also live, or I'm from the same city you're from. Please let me know if you have time for a coffee. Thanks a lot, Chris. Would you take that meeting? Fucking right you would. Because that person reminds you of yourself. Do this 20 times, please. Rinse, lather, repeat. Okay, I promise you this works. So now you got the meetings. What do you say? Well, in the first 10 minutes of the meetings, you're going to bond before business. You're not going to talk anything business. You're going to talk about what you have in common. Is that student center still open on campus? You know, is that Tim Hortons still on Main Street, wherever you're from? Then it's very naturally going to gravitate towards why are we meeting? And then you say, well, I'm actually interested in pursuing a career similar to yours. And I'd just love to ask you advice on how you got there. What was your path? Then at the end of the meeting, you ask for a job. Okay. And you ask gently, like, I'd be really honored. I'd work for free. And please let me know if you're hiring. And remember, closed mouths don't get fed. If you do this with 20 people that work at Morgan Stanley, for example, you will get a job. You only have to be right in business one time. If networking is like dating, right? If you ask one woman out on a date and she says, no, you're not going to give up. You're going to keep at it over and over and over and over and over again. And I know the pain of rejection. It feels bad, right? So when you ask somebody out on a date, and I got rejected, oh my God, a gazillion times. But when you ask somebody out on a date, if they say no, well, it's that much pain. If they say yes, it's this much pleasure for life. You only have to be right in business one time. Yeah. Be a pit bull and a pork chop and don't give up. All right, let me move on to the next question now. Okay. Next question is from Manas in Calcutta. How is it possible that Greenland and Canada, like how can someone add a country to theirs? It's a little woohoo, but maybe you're right. He's a bit too wicked smart, Trump. Yeah. So what I would say is that it's like the Louisiana Purchase, right? So the United States purchased, I learned this from my kids' history books. Louisiana, I think it was from France, right? And they doubled the size of the country. They just paid a ton of money, kind of like they paid Alaska. They paid Russia, Alaska 2 cents per acre, right? It's transactional. It can be done. It can be done. Yeah. And I think there's a good chance that Greenland will become part of the United States. It'll be done peacefully, and it'll be a referendum vote by the 50 or 60,000 people live in Greenland. Yeah. Okay. And their standard of living would go through the roof. It's a win-win. Yeah. Okay. The only thing that bothers me about all this is the derivative message it might send, which is this. If we expand our territory, it means Russia, what you're doing in Ukraine might not be. Yeah, that's one thing that worries me about all this, to be intellectually honest. Yeah. As long as everything is done peacefully. Okay. All right, next up, the Berlin wrote, I've been with my father at the VA hospital for 4 months. But other than that, we're all in great health and well. For Berlin, your daughter, she made, excellent, to BU, a Boston University full ride academic scholarship. Excellent. Oh, dude, I'm so happy with you, man. That is huge. Please congratulate Berlin for me. She's wonderful. As well. Yeah, she's great. I think she had close to a 4.0 and amazing. I'm very happy for you. And I will say, keep your father in my prayers, brother. Yeah. And then you wrote, we're here rolling with the punches and the good, bad, and the ugly. Nice seeing you again. Don't ever stop making an impact. Thank you. And then you wrote, thank you for everything you do. for the people. Never stop being the great human being. Thank you. You are. And congrats on new subscribers. Stay safe and take care, my friend. Yeah, thank you. And God bless you. And this is going to sound out there, but the way I live my life, look, I'm not perfect. I make lots of mistakes. I don't worry about stuff because God already knows what's going to happen. There's always a plan in mind. And as Dale Carnegie said, it's not work that kills us, it's worry. Things are never as bad as we think career-wise. Don't worry. And for anybody out there that is struggling with their career, they hate what they're doing, I say the next sentence with love my heart. Good. Because that should force you to get outside your comfort zone. Let me help you to be able to get a better job paying you what you're worth, or better yet, start your own company. And you might not understand it right now, but many years from now, you look back and be grateful to God that you were frustrated. You just sent down a different path. Okay. Ali wrote, you mentioned Angela Yu, Dr. Angela Yu. I have her 100 Days of Code course. You were right. She's hilarious, great teacher. She's the best. Anyone you recommend is always great. Wish you could co-lecture a course together. No, she's wonderful. And I went to a Udemy event where there's 75,000 teachers, I think, or instructors on Udemy, where the top 100 teachers went to it, or instructors in Lisbon. You know, the CEO of Udemy showed the video. He's on my board for this not-for-profit I have. I'll show you here. Yeah, so this is the next school we're building. So Greg's on my board. I met with him yesterday, as well as with Aaron, the founder of Udemy. And I met with Jeanette too yesterday. It was good to see her. But he showed this video to everybody in the audience, and only one person reached out to me of all the Udemy students that make a fortune to help me, and that was Angela. Yeah, so no, she's wonderful. She's the best teacher in history. She's great, and I'm looking forward to having a call with her. And the fact she reached out to help is, it means a lot. Yeah. We all have a higher purpose, and our purpose in this life is to leave this world making a better place. Yeah, we're here to serve others. Yeah. Okay. All right. And knowing Dahue wrote, I just bought your book 20 minutes ago. Thank you. Is there a Google Sheets compatible option for the 100-step Excel spreadsheet? If not, totally all right. I'll make the switch to Excel. Hell, thank you. Yeah. So I think you're referring to this book that McGraw-Hill recently published of mine. It only works with Excel. You can open the spreadsheets if you want in Google Sheets, but please use Excel. It's worth it. It's worth it. You can even get a 30-day free trial to Excel Help and then cancel, but don't use another email address to get the same deal for the next month. Yeah. So yeah, and I did this with McGraw-Hill. I'm great. I'm happy they approached me to do it, but I'll never do it again. Like, oh my God, there are so many rereads over and over and over again. Change this word, make this image a little bit different, that sort of thing. But they were thorough, man, and I'm proud of it. You can check it out if you want. I haven't really marketed it, but I think it's written good. All right. Next up here. All right. Farouk wrote, you have 2 cameras for your system set up. Good job. Thank you. No, thank you. So what I do is I use a product called Wirecast. Okay. And you don't have to buy this. You can actually use an open source version called OBS. And Wirecast contacted me about some kind of sponsorship. And I'll never do it because during COVID, they raised their prices materially. Whereas I gave away all my courses for free during COVID. Proud I did that. Okay. The second I start taking too many sponsorships, and look, I have to do it at some point because my goal is to build 1,000 schools in Africa. And these schools cost me $100,000 each, right? And so it's $100 million. You do the math. So I've had donations from Microsoft, IBM, and Udemy, which is great as well. But at some point, I'm gonna have to start thinking about some kind of sponsorship. But I'm really torn, folks, because I always want to be true and pure to you, my students. You are my customer. Nobody else matters. A lot of people say that the lack of sponsorships I've had over the years, or accepting sponsorships on my YouTube channel, has really hurt my growth. but I don't care. I'm here to serve you. Yeah. Okay. Plus, I don't want to be biased about what I say. It's kind of like, I don't know, for you, those of you guys that are video gamers, if you go to IGN's website, right, and you read reviews on, I don't know, the next Halo, it's always 8 or 9 out of 10, even though it sucks compared to the first ones, because Microsoft pays for the advertisement on that website. Okay. All right. Next up, Manas wrote, I had to ask you this. Why do investment bankers go gray so soon, like 29-year-olds? Yeah. I don't know if they go gray fast, but investment banking is a tough job. I didn't do it. But the thing about investment banking that is tricky is that, yeah, you tell your buddies, oh my God, I'm making X dollars a year. But you know what, man? You're making the same damn amount as your buddies do. You're just working 100 hours a week. Yeah, it's a stepping stone. It's an origination job, as I mentioned before. Yeah. Okay. All right. Keith wrote, does it make sense to buy real estate with your IRA? You'd have to talk to your accountant first, please, okay? Because you do get a ton of tax benefits anyway with real estate for your primary home. Your secondary home, I don't know if you want to put it in your IRA because you want to pay taxes on it. What does that mean? Well, you can deduct depreciation, right? And you can actually deduct an unlimited amount of the interest on your mortgage anyway. For your second, third home, your real estate investment. Your goal is actually not pay taxes. And Donald Trump, even in 2016, the first televised debate versus Hillary Clinton, she basically implied he's unethical because he doesn't pay taxes. And he said, well, it's a tax code you people created, and I get to depreciate a lot of stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. And then she said, aren't you glad that Donald Trump is not in charge of the laws in this country? And then he said, because you go to jail. That's what he said. I'm not saying I agree with that. It's just what he said. Okay. Okay. Next up here. Okay. Manas wrote, my mentor, Chris, please. Is the United Kingdom following Musk? Is too obsessed with them? Yeah, I don't understand the question. I'm so sorry. Please rephrase it. Yeah. With Jensen Huang about quantum computing, yeah, I agree with almost everything he says. Yeah, he's wonderful. Now, one thing that and I saw his CES keynote, stock went down a bit because he didn't talk about next generation chips too much. But one thing Jensen Huang said, the founder and CEO of NVIDIA, and by the way, I never invest in a company unless the founder is still there. But what he said was that students should not study computer science anymore. And he said that because he thinks that AI is perfect for coding. Makes sense. So what should you study? Well, Jensen said you should study liberal arts. Why? Because it teaches you how to be creative. And it's no surprise Apple's been successful because Steve Jobs since day one has always said that Apple is at the intersection of technology and liberal arts. Now, Jensen also said that he thinks the United States education system will pass the rest of the world within a decade or two. And the reason he said that is because in the United States, unlike other countries, you don't declare a major right away in university. For the first 1 or 2 years, whatever, you're in liberal arts. And then you declare your major maybe in the third year or so. And that makes you be creative. And innovation is what drives the U.S. economy. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Renveer, how are you? Renveer is from Mauritius, one of my amazing silver students. Hope you're doing well. I use your advice, actually, on the teeth whitener thing, and it's helping a lot with me. Thank you. Okay. All right, next up, Psyched Life wrote, hey, Chris, as a real estate agent, I'm thinking of pivoting from residential rentals to commercial real estate brokerage, like multifamily. Any tips about being great in commercial real estate? Thanks. Yeah, you're going to have to use a lot of OPM, other people's money. And it's a little bit different as well. So when you're selling this stuff, from a depreciation perspective, you can only depreciate commercial real estate over 39 years versus I think it was 29 years or so for residential. Now, to learn more about this and on how to be a great residential or commercial real estate investor, if you sign up for my MBA program, you can always check out this elective I just published. It's a complete real estate course. And when you select it, I always think of a total addressable market as massive. So I would select, if I were you, the commercial investment rental track. Okay. And then what I want you to do is I want you to do a write-up and ask you all the questions directly in this on the piece of residential property or commercial property you want to buy. Okay. And I walk through everything in a lot of detail. I create the financial statements for you, all the formulas, and then you can print out your executive summary or even the complete report as well for whatever company it is you're doing research on. It works in every single country. Yeah. Okay. Now, whenever you see somebody on television that is doing a live event, at the commercial break, some makeup person comes and gets rid of the shine on their face. If you look like you're perspiring, it looks like you're nervous. Okay. I need a haircut. All right. Mina wrote, Happy New Year's, Chris. Happy New Year's to you too. And then Farouk wrote, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And I know what you're referring to from earlier today. God bless you. Okay, Mike is, oh my God, Mike, how are you? Great to see you. Mike's one of my amazing diamond students. He was my student at San Francisco State back in 2016 when I used to teach during the evenings. I love you, man. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. I hope you had a great Christmas. Yeah. And I think you celebrate, was it January 7th as well? That's my dad does. He's Orthodox Christian. My mom's Catholic. Yeah. You wrote, Merry Christmas to you and the fam. Happy New Year. I love you. How dare we not say Merry Christmas? Thank you. You wrote, with the new presidential administration coming into office soon, meaning a crypto-friendly stance, how do you think the landscape for crypto will evolve this year? A lot is built in, but I could, please do your research, but I could see Bitcoin reaching $100,000, or pardon me, $1 million one day. Now, I set up a pretty sizable, humbly, IRA for Bitcoin years ago. I'm never selling it until it reaches $1 million. Now, I think it's the new head of the SEC is one of the co-heads of a big labor union that is crypto friendly. Yeah, that's a vote of confidence. And then Trump, he's got this Truth Social X platform kind of thing. Once it reached $100,000 Bitcoin, he said, you're welcome to everybody. Yeah. He's very, very pro Bitcoin. He's very pro low regulations. He believes in deregulation for financial services. This is why the banks are up huge over the past year. Yeah. I don't know the path with Bitcoin, but I know the destination. Okay. So when it gets murdered, you can start buying if you want, right? Buy it when it feels like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And don't ever make cryptos more than 5% of your portfolio. Yeah. All right. Good to see you, brother. Okay, next up, Manas wrote, in the next 4 years, green energy is on the backseat. Yeah. Like BYD, which is electronic vehicles company in China. Yeah. VinFast and Lucid. How do you get a beginner job at a firm like KKR or Icon Enterprises or private equity firm locally or globally? Yeah. 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 So Icon is more of a hedge fund. He's a disruptor. Henry Kravis, that's private equity. Henry Kravis, actually, he taught at my business school. He gave a guest lecture one day. He was a straight C student. Yeah. So the only way to get into private equity or to work at a hedge fund is to aggressively network, right? They don't advertise. They don't really come to campus except for the huge ones to recruit. So all you got to do is network aggressively, get a lot of informational meetings. And then what you can do, and if you follow through with this will work, I promise you. What you do is this. During the informational meeting, what I want you to do is I want you to complete this for a bunch of stock ideas you have, okay? It's even for KKR if you want to take company private, okay? And then what comes out of this is a one-page executive summary, okay, which you can print and put on the back of your resume, okay? Then I want you to follow up by sending them your model and pitch them an idea every week until they hire you or give you an interview. Yeah, it works. And if you think that's too much work, and I say this with love in my heart, how badly do you want that job? You just got to be consistent. Yeah. Okay, give me 1 second. And then Philip, first time I've seen you on the call. We join us again. Thank you. Wrote, I found your channel through YouTube Shorts. Oh, thank you. Keep up the great content. Will there ever be another FDR great deal? USA infrastructure needs serious overhaul from the electric grid and bridges, etc. Thank you, Philip. Yeah. So I think it's already happened to a lesser extent. The infrastructure deal was signed not that long ago by President Biden. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything in the works, especially in the next 4 years, because of the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, not to be confused with the cryptocurrency. I think what's going to happen is government spending is going to go down a lot. Yeah. And that's a good thing because the deficit is just too big. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Now, for those of you thinking about getting on YouTube, you got to start making YouTube shorts. So I've got a decent following on TikTok. I've kind of stopped putting stuff on there because it could be banned. And I've taken my shorts and thrown it directly here onto my YouTube channel, right? Let's see here. Views. Yeah, let's go. Lifetime views. Yeah. So my views have gone up, and just ignore the money. You're never going to make a fortune on YouTube. It's not why I use it, right? And I don't care about subscribers and stuff or about money here. But right here, you can see here, this is my growth. So, I get 250,000 views a day or so on my channel. Okay. A year ago, it was, I don't know, 1 to 2,000. So I've actually had 6,000% in views year over year on my channel. It's really, really taken off. Part of it is shorts as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Next up, Ida from Cambridge, Ontario. I wrote, I'm old school. How do you start a YouTube channel? In class, do you mention? I do mention it in class, yeah. So the way to find out where I mention stuff in class is you go directly to, I think it's here, where you log into your MBA program, okay? And then so, I don't know, you type in here, YouTube, okay? You search up here. This here is search MBA program content, okay? YouTube, search. And this is a German software company called 360 Site Search. I pay them, I think it's $100 a month for this, okay? You're a gold program member. So you're going to click here, okay? And then right here, you're going to click here, Ida, on this here, okay? And this is Intro to Creating YouTube Content, Quantifying Advertising. I do a lot of stuff here. So everything is in your program, yeah. And for those of you starting gold or platinum on January 27th, you can do the same thing here as well. Silver students, you can do the same thing, all that stuff. Yeah, I even teach about APIs, yeah. All right. All right. Next up, Jim Culture, GC, wrote, what are your thoughts on the CFA program if your goal is to work at a hedge fund? Yeah. So for those who are not familiar with the CFA, it stands for Certified Financial Analyst Designation. It's a 3-year program. All you do is you take one exam on a Saturday every year for 3 years, right? So that's 3 exams. Okay. If you're going to do it, I did level 1 8 million years ago. If you're going to do it, they recommend a ton of textbooks that cost you $1,000. Don't waste your money. Spend $30 to buy used books by a company called Schweizer on eBay. Ask me more details. I'll tell you more about it. It'll help you. Okay. Now, CFA level 1 is basically a repeat of all the finance stuff you learn in university. Levels 2 and 3 are much more advanced. I think it's a better designation to understand finance than a traditional MBA is. Now, it's not going to help you in terms of marketing yourself until you finish all 3 levels. But initially, it will help you. Or just take my program here. You can learn a lot more in a shorter amount of time. Yeah. Okay. 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 You're asking a question about Michael Saylor. Yeah. My mentor, Michael Saylor, is too optimistic about Bitcoin. He owns MicroStrategy. Sorry. By the way, he buys Bitcoin like cakes every week. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah. So let me tell you about Michael Saylor first. So he runs a business intelligence company called MicroStrategy. And I used to call it MicroTragedy because they blew up on so many earnings calls. I was short it years ago. I've been long at it as well. I remember there's one earnings call I was on. Companies report earnings 4 times a year. Once they report earnings, they hold an earnings call. One call I was on, it's like 0405 or something. an analyst asked a question he didn't like. And so he's like Donald Trump at a press conference. He said, well, something along the lines of, what a stupid question. I don't want to answer that question. And he ended the webcast. Well, I'll never forget it, right? So he's very opinionated, and he doesn't care what people think. That's kind of a good thing, which is why he basically put a lot of money into Bitcoin. I think it's fiscally irresponsible for a company to put way too much of their cash and cash equivalents on their balance sheet under assets in the cryptocurrencies because it's very volatile, unless they use some kind of hedging strategy. Yeah. Okay, but he's certainly done well. All right, Mina wrote, congratulations. Thank you. Aboudi, Mo Aboud, how are you? Mo is actually, he's Egyptian originally, lives in British Columbia, was in my platinum program like 2 years ago or so. Great guy. Good to see you. You wrote, I hope you're doing well. Looking great in the suit. Thank you. Even they let grown-ups wear suits here. For platinum, do we have a meeting today? No, the next silver, gold, and platinum weekly Zoom office hours starts 1 week from today. The reason is I'm working very hard on this webcast that you guys can be a part of next Thursday. Y'all, if you guys are my email distribution list, you'll be getting a notification about it. And for everybody in this webcast, join me next week, same time, same location, my YouTube channel, because I'm going to go through in a lot of detail my MBA program. And everybody in the call is going to get 2 of my best courses for free just for showing up. One person will win 100% scholarship. To learn more, go down to that link there. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. We have about 10 minutes left or so. Manas wrote, thank you for everything. See you in half an hour. Yeah, and God bless you. You've been with me since March 2020. I'm growing old with you, actually. And then you wrote, see you soon, Habibi. Yeah, again, there's no silver or platinum or gold Zoom calls today. They start next Thursday. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Next up, we have Guillaume, which is a wonderful French name for William. Guillaume wrote, I had a question about the interview for a valuation analyst position for a boutique in Montreal. Yeah, my buddy Guillaume Bougie is from Montreal. I work with him at Goldman. You should look him up, Guillaume Bougie. We used to call him the Candle. You know why. Okay. It's the first round in person by the chairman and the MD, and I'm stressed. What if I don't know an answer? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you don't know the answer to something, quite often in interview situations, they ask you very tough questions and they drill down just to test if you're going to BS and how you're going to answer it. For example, back in 1998, July 31st, I interviewed at Goldman Sachs for an internship. And it was Jordan Waxman. I remember him. He worked in PWM or something, but he was interviewing me for a different department. He asked me a question. He said, what markets do you follow in Europe? And I said, well, I follow the French market, the German markets. Then he said this, what's the name of the index in Germany? I said, the Deutsche Börse, right? Then he said, name a company that you follow. And I said, Daimler Chrysler, which was the name of the company at the time. And he said, who's the CEO? And I said, well, it's Jürgen Schrepp. And then he said, who's the CFO? And I said, I don't know, but I'll get back to you. It's an interview tactic, okay? You just say, I don't know, I'll get back to you. Because when you work in finance or investment banking or whatever it might be, a lot of times you don't know the answer. They just want to see you're resourceful and proactive. And you follow up immediately, right? So what you do is you send an email to that person or an email that night saying, thank you very much for our conversation today. I enjoyed our conversation, whatever. Semicolon, per your question on X, I did some research and here are my humble thoughts. Thanks a lot, your future boss. No, thanks a lot, Guillaume. Okay. All right. Jean-Luca wrote, hey, Chris, I'm based in Italy right now. Excellent. I see a lot of venture capital jobs available in the United States, but companies are only looking for US-based guys. What can I do? You can certainly do contracting work. It's very, very tough to do. Okay. I don't recommend working at a venture capital firm unless you've started companies. And that goes for anybody based in America as well. The reason I say that is, yeah, if you work hard, you might get a job there, but you're not going to be able to, make general partner and sit on boards of companies. And the reason is because the underlying company you want to invest in, right? The CEO founder is going to select which VC firm, gets to invest. And you're going to be on their board. They're not going to select you if you haven't started companies, because the board is basically a prosthetic extension of the management team to give advice. Yeah. Now, let me answer the question a different way. For anybody out there that wants to move to another country, okay? And I'm just going to make this up, okay? So let's say you're in Italy and you want to live in the United States. Here's a 5 to 10 year strategy of how to do it. Step 1, work for a big company that's American that has their headquarters in the United States. So let's say you're in I don't know, Rome. Work for Microsoft in Rome. Do extraordinarily well. Work very hard so you get promoted a couple of times. Then after 5 to 10 years, you're going to get promoted to a very senior level, in which case they're going to relocate you, ask you to relocate to the mothership, meaning Microsoft's headquarters in Washington State, which is on the left coast here in the United States. Their lawyers will walk through walls to make sure that you can relocate and move, even if you don't have a degree. It doesn't matter. Now, the longer the view, the wiser the intention. That's a long-term strategy. Yeah. And remember, as I mentioned earlier in today's webcast, you have to ask to be promoted multiple times. That's a long-term strategy. Okay. There's no get-rich-quick fix overnight in business. Like day trading doesn't work. You got to be long-term focused. Okay. Okay, JK wrote, hey, Chris, best blessings this, this new year, 2025. Thank you. All right, next up, Mahmood wrote, hey, Chris, congratulations on your YouTube channel and surpassing 100K. Can you share with us when you'll receive the creator awards? Yeah, I'll show you the whole process. It takes 1 to 2 weeks. And what I'll do actually is I'll unbox it live on the air with you guys. Okay. So the way it works is this. So once you reach 100,000 subs, they might give you an award. They don't have to. A lot of people don't get it actually, right? So I was actually a little bit nervous, kind of. I didn't really care. I thought maybe there's a chance I won't get an email from them because I criticized the YouTube platform. God forbid, freedom of speech. So here's what happens. So they send you an email, and then what happens is it looks like this here, okay? And then you order it, and you get it, it says here, in 1 to 2 weeks, okay? And what I also did, and then if you want to buy more of them, you can do it right here. And so I bought a bunch more. And the reason why I bought a bunch more of them, the first one's free and they free shipping, is because I want to give it to my team, right? Because my team earned it. And that includes Jean-Marco Lubiana, who does my social media stuff, my YouTube shorts, the video editing, and Cassandra Cox, who is the best CMO on the planet. If anybody wants to hire both of them for them to work with you, Jean-Marco to make your content, your videos, okay, edit, and Cassandra to do your marketing, let me know. Send an email to support@harounventures.com. Cassandra is so good that for every $1 we spend on advertising, we make $9. It's amazing. She's great. Both of them are based in Montreal. I love Canada. Actually, Jean-Marco's in Woodstock, Ontario. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Mudit wrote, you're looking handsome. Thank you. Did my mom just create a YouTube account and call herself Mudit? Oh, thank you. God bless you. Thanks. All right. All right. Thank you. You made my day. JK wrote, you must have a special meeting. Great looking traditional suit today. Sorry, I got on late. Thanks. No, I don't have I have a bunch of calls. But I actually, I'll show you my calendar. Hold on a second. I share everything, man. I'm an open book. Okay. So today there's no webcasts, today. I've got a call with closers.io, my diamond student here. I'm redesigning my website. This guy, here's a bunch of meetings I have today. Tomorrow, here's my schedule, all these meetings. And then Saturday, these are all meetings. It's crazy, right? These are people that want to buy my product. So I hired a bunch of people, actually, closers and setters as well, that help me scale this business. And the reason I want to scale the crap out of this business is I want to build more schools. I have failed if I don't build 1,000 schools in my lifetime using profits from what I do in Africa. Hence this weekly infomercial. Alexa, that's enough. All right, so I do have to wrap this up in a couple of minutes. Thanks, guys. Okay, and then Michael wrote, God bless you. I love you too, man. Thank you. I love you more, brother. Love you, man. Yeah, Mike is great. Yeah. All right. And Mike was one of my students, as I mentioned earlier, in the fall of 2016, when I used to teach during the evenings at the downtown campus of San Francisco State in the Westfield Shopping Center, which has been shut down now because of the left coast politics here. Okay. All right. Next up, Radio 1998 wrote, are you concerned with the future economic, socio-political situation? It seems with the growing wealth inequality, ecological crisis, there's a lot to be worried about right now. Yeah, I'm not worried. The media makes us worry. You are the media. Don't listen to them. For example, if you're watching CNN, and see, the problem with CNN or traditional media and Fox News, okay, I'm covering both sides here. The problem is they're losing a lot of market share to a generation like all of us that grew up with YouTube. We don't watch television. So they have a scare factor to get you to watch. They'll say, find out why the world is ending after this commercial break. Yeah. Don't worry. Things are never as bad as you think. Things are also never as good as you think. Yeah. And that's what one of my portfolio manager bosses in the hedge fund industry told me. Yeah. Don't worry. Okay. JK wrote, is Justin going back to teach dance? Justin Trudeau. I got to show you. I don't know what Elon Musk's latest tweets have been on Justin Trudeau, but let's find out together. This will be fun. Okay. Elon Musk X tweets, I guess, on Justin Trudeau. This will be funny. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is in, all right, Times of India. Okay, so Justin Trudeau put out a tweet saying there is no way, let me show you how to get this website for free, okay? There is no way that Canada will ever join the United States, okay? And I'll show you how to get all websites for free in a second, all news stuff, okay? So what he wrote was this. Justin Trudeau wrote this, okay. All right. Mom, if you're watching, I am getting political. I don't care anymore. Justin wrote, there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada will become part of the United States. Workers and communities in both our countries benefit from each other's biggest trading partner and security partner. And Elon Musk wrote, girl, you're not the governor of Canada anymore, so it doesn't matter what you say. Yeah. All right. I just lost a lot of viewers there, but I had to go there. Sorry. Now, the way to get any website for free that you have to pay for, meaning a paywall, let's say you go to a website and you want to read an article, okay? And they ask you to pay for it. Just copy the article title and search in a private browser in Google. 90% of the time you can access it for free. From an SEO perspective, that's the way it works. Otherwise, they wouldn't get good rankings. Try it. It works 90% of the time. Yeah. Okay. Now you know why I don't want to take any sponsors. JK wrote, is Justin going back to teach dance? Yeah. We'll have to ask Elon Musk. Okay. And then Ryan wrote, I've learned a ton from you so far. Thank you. When one teaches to learn. I finished your mini MBA program on Udemy, and it's helped me to now create a systems and processes for my startup before we launched software. Awesome. And I think almost 500,000 people have taken that course so far. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It took me literally, that course, it literally took me, it's made a fortune, obviously, humbly, but it took me 9 hours to make. And let me show you the origin story of that really quickly. And everybody's got to teach online. Udemy is a game changer. It's the only It's the only ed tech company that matters, by the way. So if we go to my website, I'm going to show you my origin story for teaching. This is when I used to teach during the evenings in the Bay Area. But if I'm going to go to About Charity, okay. So what I used to do is I was on the board of the Limo Foundation. I was the chief academic officer here. It's a not-for-profit. And basically a lot of the students that are part of the Limo Foundation live in East Palo Alto, where the high school graduation rate is 40%. And so what I did, Alexa, stop it. What I did was I created a program for them where I would teach them on Saturdays, okay? And let me actually show you the image here, screenshot right here. Here we go, yeah. So I would teach them on Saturday. And this is Saturday when I was younger, that's me, 8 years ago, 2016. Oh my God, that's 9 years ago. Dude, I'm getting old. Okay, so in January of 2016, I taught these students. And these students range, it's for free, of course, between 9 and 17 years old. That's Lalika, she's on my board, she's great. I called it an entire MBA in one day. Then what I did was the next day at home, I put up a camera in my bedroom. And my wife said, honey, that's not happening. And I said, no, I'm teaching a course. So what I did was I recorded myself teaching for I think it was 8 or 9 hours in a row. No script, just kind of went for it. And I put it on Udemy, not because I wanted to make money, because I wanted to help. And it took off. And it made a killing. I remember, I think it was in February 2016. That course alone made 90 grand after all fees I made on just Udemy's website. I didn't mean to do it. I just did it because I want to help people. Case in point, in terms of chasing your passion. If you chase money, you lose your dreams and your money. If you chase your dreams and you don't give a fuck what people think, two things happen. Your dreams come true and the money falls accidentally. It always does. Yeah. So that's my origin story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. All right. And I do have to wrap up this call. Let me see. I've got a meeting coming up. Okay. Let me go to today. 10:30. Okay. Alexa, set an alarm at 10:29 a.m.
23rd alarm set for 10:29 a.m.
You know what, dude? I'm going to go a little bit more and answer more questions before I have a meeting with Raphael today. All right. Okay. Let me answer more questions. This is fun. All right. Lana wrote, thank you. This is so informative. You're most welcome. I do this every week for free forever. This is week 301. I'm going to do up to week 8 million. I'm going to live forever. Yeah. And the average life expectancy today is 26 years longer than it was back in the 1950s. So although I'm a 52-year-old man-child, I'm actually 26. And for those of you that are older, you can always start over. Just deduct 26 years from your age. And there are many people on this webcast today that will live to 150. That's right. Okay. So I don't care how young you are, old you are, whatever. I'm here to help you change careers and find your purpose and passion in life. Yeah. You can always check out this thing here. Okay. All right. Mildred, who's one of my favorite students in Texas, who has 8 million puppies now, wrote, what should I do with the money that is sitting in my business account? Should I keep it in there until I need it or invest in something? Yeah. Yeah. So I would, whenever you look at the balance sheet of a company, okay, companies have, the first thing listed is cash. The second thing listed is cash equivalents. And what that means is this. If you just keep your money in the bank, you're going to make a low interest. But if you buy short-term government securities like treasuries, you can make a bit more. It's just good cash management. That's what I would do. Yeah. I would also, and we can talk more about this, but I would talk to your accountant to ask your accountant legally how do I pay the least amount in taxes, right? So for me, if I have a good year, at the end of a year, I'll pay, an extra 10K for something that I was planning on buying the next year. So you can minimize your tax burden. Yeah. And we can talk about it in one-on-ones, et cetera. But a lot of companies will buy treasuries. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what you can always do is, because you're located in the United States, what you can do is you can go to Treasury. I don't know if a company can do this. I don't think so. Maybe they can. You ask your accountant first. So I want you to come with me to treasurydirect.gov. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't know about this. And the reason why you don't know about this is because investment banks are not allowed to sell what I'm about to show you. It's called Treasury Direct. It's sold directly from the U.S. government. So what you can do, if you leave your money in the bank, you're not going to be making that amount of interest. Maybe not, right? But what you can do is you can buy what are called Series I bonds. And I pitched this in my webcast a couple of years ago when the rates were 9%. So you can buy this. And what happens is the rates change every 6 months based on what inflation is. So if inflation concerns go up a lot between now and April 30th of this year, then this rate is going to go up. Okay. You will never lose money on this. You will never lose money on this, even if we're in a deflationary environment. Okay. So these are savings bonds. Talk to your accountant first in terms of how to buy it. I don't think you can buy it in your company. Maybe you can. I don't know. You could ask your accountant. But if you're not sure where to put capital, and you need the money within 6 months, you can do something like this here. Okay. And this is how the U.S. government builds debt. So the way it works is the U.S. government has a lot of debt, right? And the biggest foreign owner of our debt is not China. It's Japan. And a lot of Americans and American institutions will invest in U.S. government bonds as well. And the government sells it to us at a higher interest rate than what you get in the bank, so that they can use it to, build structures, build highways, whatever it might be, or, invest in the military, whatever it is. Yeah. Okay. And if you're interested in learning about bonds, I have the best video to show you. I'm not going to share it with you now, but if you want to learn about bonds, you just go to, go to my my YouTube channel, okay? And then when you're on my YouTube channel here, just search for bonds, okay? And then right here, I explain bond investing. But when you buy municipal debt from Tampa, I explain it from scratch there. So just do a search on bond investing. Yeah. Okay. All right. What else do we got here? I'm having fun. The way you know you found your passion is when you're on vacation, which I was. You love spending time with your family, but you can't wait to get back to work. Okay. I would do this for free forever. Okay. Guillaume, you're most welcome. Okay. And then Jean-Luca wrote, Chris, I'm 7 years management consultant for Accenture. Excellent. Excellent. You're manager level or almost there. Yeah. And you're probably thinking, should I do associate partner and then partnership? Well, if you have kids, probably not, because you have to travel a lot. It's hard. Yeah, but it's a good stepping stone. Yeah, it's a great company. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I worked there when I was employee number 14,000. I remember that. Yeah. Okay. And then Nate wrote, I have an interview for corporate development M&A later today. Any tips? Yeah. Okay, a couple things. Number one, what do you wear? Go to LinkedIn profile of the people you're going to be meeting with and just see what they wear. Wear the same thing. Overdress if you're not sure, right? And what I used to do when I used to interview in finance, right? I would wear something like this, okay? I'd show up to the interview, and downstairs, before I got in the elevator, I would ask, do they wear ties? If they said no, they say no at the front desk, you take this off, right? In terms of preparation, make sure that you read the Wall Street Journal and the FT that day, just the highlights in case they ask you about current events. Make sure you do a search on the company and then go to news in Google to find out if there's any news releases on that company in general. In terms of questions, whenever you're answering questions, if you're stuck, I want you to use crutches that I explained in my MBA degree program as follows. Let's say they ask you a question and you're like, dude, I don't know how to answer this. I want to buy time. You can use structures, crutches. You could say, sure, no problem. Let me answer this using a SWOT analysis. Let me kick it off with the strengths. The strengths are, and all that time you're thinking of the answer, right? And then in terms of the opportunities are weaknesses, opportunities, threats, etc. And if you're rambling, you say, and this is another crutch, the bottom line is this. And if you want to buy more time, you can always, while you're mid-thought answering a question, you talk about something, you say, in terms of, that buys you time. Moving on to, and again, if you're rambling like I am right now, the bottom line is, keep your answers short too, always. Otherwise, if you give them everything, they ask follow-ups you can't answer. Yeah. Okay, let me think. Other questions they might ask you. I'd be able to answer really simplistic questions like, why should a company do an M&A deal? And then what you want to do is you want to talk about the buy versus build strategy. It might be faster for them to buy versus build, and then talk about synergies, etc. Talk about if there's a gap in their product portfolio, why they need to fill it quickly by doing an acquisition. Talk about the fact that maybe they want to acquire a company so they can get access to different distribution channels globally, etc. Yeah. And if that company you're interviewing with has advised on a big deal, you better know that. Yeah, if it's publicly disclosed. Good luck. Have fun. Be yourself. Oh, the most important advice I can give you is this. Right before your interview starts, I want you to tell yourself this in your mind. I don't care how this goes. I just don't care. That way you're going to be yourself. Okay? It's kind of like when you go on a date with somebody. If you really care and you're uptight, you ain't going to get a second date. But if you're yourself and you don't really care, I'm not saying be rude or disingenuous. You'll get the second date. Yeah. And then what you want to do is the second the interviews are done, you want to send an email or an email to everybody, thanking them profusely for their time, and use this script exactly. John, hope all is well. Thank you very much for your time today, semicolon. I enjoyed our conversation. Thanks again, comma, Chris. That's it. And you want to get those out to them as fast as possible. Why? Because what happens is when people interview you in big companies, what happens is at the end of the day, they have to submit in their internal system or paper-based, probably internal system, what they thought of you. And if they got a message from you before the end of the day, a nice message like that, that'll subconsciously bias them to say, all right, this dude made it to the next round. Okay. Neon wrote, oh, this is a hard one, man. What's better, apples or oranges? Yeah. Neither, because I'm on the keto diet. I don't try not to eat carbs. And anything sugar-based makes you fat. Bad. I use lemons for my vitamin C. Yeah. Jet wrote, what hedge funds did you work at? Yeah. So after Goldman, I went to Greenland Capital in New York City. Mark Kinney, as I mentioned, is a great guy. And that's the oldest running hedge fund history, Greenland Capital. Then when I was working there in New York, a big hedge fund called Citadel recruited my family and I to the West Coast here in the Bay Area. Then I worked at Pequot, which was founded by Art Sandberg. God bless me, passed away from pancreatic cancer. It was a year ago. Missed that guy. Then I started my own fund. And in my own fund, Mark Kingdon actually invested as well, which is great. Then I hated it. I did fine whenever the fall of 2008. I massively outperformed. I remember October 2008 when we were within 24 hours, bank machines not working. Markets were down 30%. I was up like 3 or 4%. It was depressing. I would show up to work every day hoping that companies would declare bankruptcy. Depressing. I then morphed that company into a venture capital firm where I invested in Facebook when it was private, and then eventually did a little bit more VC work. Met Tony Robbins, who wanted to invest in one of our portfolio companies, and he convinced me to start teaching. Because, Chris, you light up when you teach. I'm glad I did that. And I love Tony Robbins. And I recommend that you all go to a Tony Robbins event in person, not online. It's the best investment you'll ever make, better than any of this stuff you can buy from me. And I want you to go to UPW, Unleash the Power Within. It'll change your life like it did mine. Okay, HQ Hotspot LGX Agency wrote, Chris, I read your finance books and the 100-step spreadsheet is broken. Can anyone help? It shouldn't be broken. Let me go there right now. Okay. Should work, actually. Let me go there. So Is it tools? Okay, 100 steps. Oh, no, that can't be right. Hold on a second. No, no. It says XLS files are not supported. You got to download it here. See here? Make sure it's working. I'm such an idiot. I'm so sorry. It is working. So what you do is you go to the website mentioned. You click here. Okay. And it says here, Excel files are not supported. Okay, this is a browser update to Chrome. So all you have to do is this. Just click here on download. Okay. And then right here, this is where you're going to download. It looks like somebody else wrote it. Download here. Okay, so you have to have an account. Actually, you shouldn't. Continue download only. Okay. Okay, so I just downloaded it. Here it is here. 100-step dashboard here. Okay, I just clicked it. Here it is. It works. It works. So what's happened is Dropbox, not Google, changed something. So Dropbox changed right here. Yeah. So what I'll do is this. On the website, I'll put in brackets, make sure to download the file and not open it directly within Dropbox. Yeah. But when you click here for Dropbox, don't sign in. Just go continue with download only. Try that right now, please. And HQ hotspot, LGX agency. If that doesn't work, let me know immediately, please. It will work though. Okay. All right, back to big mode, Chris. Okay. And then George wrote, hey, Chris, we canceled tonight. Okay, so I had a one with you on my schedule. I have rescheduled for the 21st a number of projects. Okay. All right, thank you. So that's George Goldman. And George actually, I think he used to work for Jordan Belfort. And he told me some funny stories I won't repeat, but I love you. Okay, so you just canceled right here. Okay, so I have one opening right here if anybody wants it at 2:10 p.m. Pacific time. Anybody in my MBA program. Or if somebody here wants it, all you got to do is go to harounmba.com, click here. Does it open up? Open up day of or not? Yeah, right here. Good. So George canceled here. So if somebody wants that, go for it. All right. All right. All right. Next up. Oh, and George, when your book is done, let me. I can't wait to talk about it here live on the air. Yeah. And Amudit wrote, "Are you starting your hedge fund again? Count me in." No, thank you so much, Amudit. No, I'm not. No, never again. Never again. I believe in the concept of hedge funds, but there's something depressing for me, utterly depressing, of hoping a company goes down, meaning people lose their jobs, so I can make money. I just can't deal. Yeah. Okay. And either wrote, suggestions for a documentary to watch is Don't Die with Brian Johnson. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to take a picture of that right now. Okay, good. There's nothing new to watch on TV, man. I guess I'll start watching the Ozarks all over again. And the great thing about getting older is you forget stuff you watched years ago. So you get to watch it all over again. It's great. And then Flax wrote, hey, Chris, you look fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe I'm beautiful. Maybe it's Maybelline. Please tell me somebody got that reference. Okay. I just dated myself. Thanks. Yeah. All right. And HQ wrote, the finance book was amazing, though it's totally changed the way I think now. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks. I hope you enjoy it. It's interesting because I have it here. And my eyes are starting to, like, I understand when my dad used to go like this with his crackberry. Or I was like, Dad, put it close to your face, you can see. Like, now I get it. Yeah, the words are a bit small. Kindle version is probably better. Apparently there's an Audible version as well. Yeah. If you want, please write me a nice review on Amazon. Yeah, I haven't marketed this stuff. Yeah. Closed mouths don't get fed, Chris. Thank you. All right. And then Victor wrote, Chris, could you clarify whether office hours will take place in Zoom in the future? Yeah. So the way it works is I don't have office hours today, which is rare for me, okay? Because I am preparing for a massive webcast. We have 1 week from today. But the way it works is this, and I'll show you behind the scenes how it works. So the second that the weekly call is done, we're supposed to end at 10 a.m. It's 10:19 now. The second that it's done, I do a 1 hour office hours call, Zoom only, okay, with silver students. Then when that's done at like 11 a.m., I take a 20-minute break, and then I do a 2 hour office hours call with my gold, platinum, and diamond students. And my gold, platinum, and diamond students can join the silver office hours. And for those of you in the silver program, just log into the course here and look at the very first lecture. And in the very first lecture, what I do is I publish a link to it, right? So I'll show you here. So let me go to it here. Is this going to work? Should, yeah. And then for diamond and for diamond, gold, platinum students, I'll come back in a second. You just go here to student login, okay? And then you go to whatever program it is you've been a part of. There's 10 of them. You log in with the password I mentioned in the first lecture, and you get access to the calendar there. Okay. Now it's done on YouTube, as well as let me see if I can get this. Oh, here it is. Here, yeah. How to access the weekly. This is silver. How to access the weekly silver MBA office hours call. Right. So once you buy it, you can log in here. So what I do is I put the link here. Okay. So I wrote here. Next call is on this date. But if we go back to, I'm gonna go, I don't know, any random one here. This is what it looks like. Okay, it's 1 hour. Okay, and it's much less formal. As you can see, I dress down a bit, and I just answer questions. People want to show up. This is an older one here. Okay, yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, so I have students from England, United States, France, Canada, all over the world that join this as well. And then I'll show you what it looks like. Let me show you silver, or pardon me, gold and platinum. Go back here to, I don't know. You'll see it in your calendar here. And then it's webcast as well. And this one is 2 hours. So it's based on whatever questions people, or things people are asking questions about. I go into a lot of detail. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. This is my student that works for Nintendo in Germany. Yeah, here's a doctor. Here's Gary, who I'm releasing a course with very soon on how to do advanced financial analysis. He's a former investment banker, etc. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap up this call in a second. Okay. And then Farouk wrote, how do you take so many meetings without burning out? Each meeting is 30 minutes. No, it's 20 minutes. And we get a lot accomplished. I move very fast in the meetings. Yeah. When you do something you love doing, you're adding value and helping people, which I humbly think I am. It's not a job, it's a passion. It's just as much fun for me as playing GTA 5. But GTA 6 is more fun. So when GTA 6 comes out, I mentioned this, I pre-announced a million times to you guys, you ain't going to see me for a month at least. Okay. And I used to do these webcasts until there were no more questions. My record, you can go back and look at my YouTube channel, was October 31st. It was Halloween 2020. I did 12 hours without leaving. It was crazy. Yeah. Then I left, probably take one of my kids out for Halloween. Yeah. When I was cool to them. I'm not anymore. Yeah. Okay. My youngest kid, Dylan, walked into my office years ago, a couple of years ago. He's 14 now. Yeah. And I was doing something. I was recording something. And I looked over at him. He was watching me the whole time. He turned white. He was terrified. I was like, what? And I'll tell you, first of all, what I was doing. I got Kanye West music years ago. And I was rapping a lecture. I was rapping it. And he was watching me. And he said, Dad, if you publish that, I'm never talking to you again. Yeah. I haven't published it. Yeah. Yeah, good thing. I actually had an older video about business tips from Kanye West. I took it down after that, those awful comments he made. Okay. And then HQ wrote, I open it in Numbers View. It doesn't open in Google Sheets for me. Yeah, try to use Excel. It's worth getting. Just trust me on that. Yeah, and make sure it only use Excel, the app, Don't open in a browser. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to wrap this up in a second because I've got to get to 8 million one-on-ones, or a bunch of one-on-ones, whatever. HQ wrote, or Moodit wrote, hey, Chris, can you do a complete tutorial on making a financial model from scratch for equity research? The Udemy one is just a template, not very intuitive. Yeah. In my MBA degree program, I teach it in a lot of detail, right? And this MBA program stuff is not available on Udemy. So I teach you from scratch how to create a financial model. I teach you finance and accounting from scratch and tons of other things. To learn more about this, you can always go to the link you see below and sign up for the Silver MBA or one of my programs. Yeah, and it'll never go on Udemy. Yeah, but Udemy is my most important business partner for indirect stuff. Okay. All right, HQ wrote, I've updated my computer. Thank you. Okay, good. It works. Okay, hey, Shub, how are you? All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap up this weekly webcast. I want to thank you all, and this is the first webcast of 2025, and so I want you to all write down your New Year's resolutions, okay, and put it in your calendar and have them repeat every single day. And Tony Robbins once said that most people, 90% of people, give up their New Year's resolutions by the third week of January because they don't set a deadline date. I want you to set a deadline date for all of your goals. I want you to vocalize them, tell your buddies about it as well, as long as they're not confidential. And that will put pressure on you. I say with love in my heart to get it done. Yeah, okay. All right, guys, I love you. God bless you. Make sure you join next Thursday, okay? For the weekly call, because everybody's going to get 2 of my best courses for free. One person will win 100% scholarship, and I will put I'll put my gold and platinum stuff on serious discount just for that call. Yeah. Okay, great. All right, guys. God bless you. Have a great week. Click the like button, and all that stuff, and I'll see you next week and every week. Thank you.